Welcome back to the Panthers Television Network. I'm Jeff Rimmer along with Dennis Potvin, and the ceremonial face-off has just taken place here at the Chicago Stadium. You know, we talked in terms of Brian Skrudland, Dennis Potvin, but certainly a lot of leadership and in a young way, and a lot of goal scoring is going to be looked at in the future from a young guy by the name of Rob Niedermeyer.
Well, Jeff, now that the noise level has come down quite a bit more, I think we can concentrate on our conversation. Niedermeyer certainly has the poise. So said by his former coach, Dwayne Sutter, who was my teammate as a junior. Says he's got poise, he's got strength, and he can make it happen for the team. We're looking for great things as he develops as a pro hockey player.
Chris Chelios last year won the Norris Trophy for the Chicago Blackhawks, and I'm sure he'll be one of their leaders this year.
Well, Chelios is one of the very few, probably the only one I can think of as a defenseman who can blend a wonderful intensity and intelligence in the game. 1993, last year, Norris Trophy winner, won the Norris in '86 with the Montreal Canadiens, one of the great defensemen in the game.
Concerns about firepower up front. Can Jeremy Roenick score 50 goals again?
Jerry Roenick has had 2 seasons with 50 goals, 2 seasons with over 100 points. He's your classic hockey player. Great speed. He's aggressive, and he's one of those players that will cause a lot of turnovers in the offensive zone. Big hits.
John Van Beesbroek gets the inaugural start tonight.
Well, he's a #1 pick. He's a guy that the Panthers are leaning on. He's got a classic style. He moves side to side as well as anybody in the league. Here's where he's got his own team and a chance to start.
Ed Belfour goes for the Blackhawks.
Different player, a little bigger, more aggressive, flops a little bit. Just wants to get his body in front of the puck.
This game is underway, and it's sent into the Panther zone. Played by Van Beesbroek along the left wing boards, moved behind the Panther net, takes a wicked bounce. Brown sweeps to the corner. Matteau looks to center it in front. Off in the near corner, this is Mellenby. Mellenby tries to clear the zone and does by Sutter all the way back into the Blackhawk end. The referee tonight is Lance Robert. Gerard Gauthier, Dan Shakti are working the lines. It's Chelios, the Norris Trophy winner for the Blackhawks, leading the rush out of the zone. Left wing pass for Sutter, dumped in. Matteau looking right back to Sutter behind the net. Hard hit in the corner. Bunch behind the net. Puck comes free. Roenick for Sutter. He's held up by Lowry. Some good checking behind Van Beesbroek. Move to the point. Chelios with a shot through traffic, deflected wide. Picked up. And then stolen away there by Mellenby. Mellenby back for the Panthers. Mellenby leading the rush into the zone. Back to Skrudland. Turned aside. Belfour. Skrudland works it along the boards. Matteau unable to tie up Skrudland. Blackhawks get it out of the zone, but it's picked up by the Panthers in neutral ice. Fitzgerald taken away by Roenick, who's getting all kinds of ice time here early in this first period, and I assume that will be the way most of the night.
Jeff, we're looking at Roger Nielsen. Obvious what he did with his first line. Puts out Skrudland, puts out Lowry, and puts out Mellenby, the most experienced forwards on the team. Right away wants to get the team settled down in a hockey-playing mode.
A look at the Panther lineup tonight, but you can look for Roger Nielsen, I'm sure, Dennis, to kind of switch the lines as the game progresses.
Well, you look at the very bottom line, Skrudland, Huff, and Levens. That's not what we saw from the opening faceoff.
Set for the draw outside the Blackhawk blue line. Won by Gillen, driven in by Sorella. Steve Smith, the veteran Hawks defenseman, dishes off on the right wing. Roenick is upended, and we have our first penalty of the hockey game. Lance Roberts whistling play down, and a hooking call will put the Blackhawks on the power play.
These are the things you're going to be watching for when he got the kind of speed that Roenick has moving through the center zone. This guy's got great skating ability. They're looking for this man to spearhead their offensive power. But as Daryl Sutter, the coach, has said, they're going to need a little more help. Roenick showing the speed and a good agility here. Really nothing could be done except bringing him down.
1:44, the time of the hooking call against Lindsay. The face-off inside the Panther zone.
Daryl Sutter's been hearing a lot about his lack of scoring on this hockey team, and right now it doesn't look like they've added a lot. They're looking for various trades around the league. But at this stage of the season, not too many people are going to help him out, Jeff.
Larmer certainly will be missed from this power play. 16th best last year, and that was certainly one of the criticisms of the Blackhawks, particularly in the playoff loss to St. Louis. Roenick looks cross ice for Chelios. Chelios back to the right point. Chelios backhands Goulet. Goulet, Chelios. Hawks defenseman fakes the shot. Working on him as Huff steals the puck away from the Panthers and sends it the length of the ice. Goulet off the boards. Picked up in full flight by Jeremy Roenick. Centering pass. Smith tries to move around the defenseman. Smith. And it's sent behind the net. Noonan. Chelios winds up with a shot. Van Beesbrook, the pad save. Rebound in front. Swept to the side. Backhanded by Chelios. Roenick at the right point. 59 seconds left in the Blackhawks power play. Chelios observes, fires the shot, sent wide of Van Beesbrook. Picked up, Goulet. 500-plus goals. Needs one to tie Frank Mahovlich for 12th on the all-time list. Smith with a shot that goes wide. Played by Fitzgerald, and it's out of the zone.
Panthers are doing a pretty good job of collapsing down deep in front of the net, protecting Van Beesbrook, clearing the puck on any rebounds.
Blackhawks have one more rush up ice. 24 seconds left in their power play. As play called on the offside.
Daryl Sutter again. We're looking at the various lines he's trying to put together. Obviously, the top line is Roenick, Noonan, and Goulet. Noonan is a player that they're really looking to come out this year. They want him to pick up on the goal scoring. Also, you'll see Joe Murphy on the right wing, acquired from Edmonton, another one who they're looking for much more offensive power.
Brent Sutter, Dave Christian. Up front for the Blackhawks here now. 21 seconds remaining in the penalty to Lindsay for hooking. 16:37 left in the scoreless first period in the inaugural night for the Florida Panthers. Sent to the point, shot wide of Van Beesbrook, near corner. Moved by Keith Brown, the former Blackhawk, and he sends it the length of the ice with all but 4 seconds remaining in the penalty to Lindsay. Drop up. Left wing sweeps it into the Panther zone where it's cut off by Brown and sent back into the Blackhawk end. The Blackhawks and the Panthers here on opening night, scoreless. Just past the 4-minute mark of this first period. Tarapa dishes off on the wing by Murphy in center ice. Now it's Rich Sutter playing his first game as a Blackhawk, coming over in the waiver draft as play is called, and we're going to get a penalty. Second Panther penalty upcoming, this one again for hooking. Dennis, Roger Nielsen telling me this morning here at practice he did not get enough time during training camp to work on the power play and penalty killing, and here he is killing off another penalty.
Well, here's a penalty he can't be happy with. Young Rob Niedermeyer getting a penalty like that in the neutral zone is really unnecessary. At that point, he should have picked up a couple of more strides, just followed the play and wrote him out.
Roenick back to the point to Smith through traffic deflected high off the top of the glass. Swept to the point but not out by Gillen. Chelios moving up. Chelios sends it up high behind the net, played by the Blackhawks, and that is Noonan, who's expected to pick up the scoring slack in the absence of Steve Larmer, and Keith Brown, the ex-Blackhawk, has been called here.
There'll be no shortages of calls tonight. Lance Robert is taking a step here towards making sure that he asserts himself early in front of the Panther net. Keith Brown trying to defend the net, maybe clear the way so Van Beesbrook can see the puck a little more, is caught by Lance Robert across checking. As the play develops, you see it right here to the left of your screen. Keith Brown with the follow through. Michel Goulet of the Chicago Blackhawks in front of the net taking the hit. Makes it a little more difficult now. Obviously 5-on-3. Chicago Blackhawks are going to try and take advantage of this. It's very important the first period.
Jeff Rimmer along with Dennis Potvin and Steve Michael on the Florida Panther television network from the Chicago Stadium on this, the opening night of the Florida Panthers joining the National Hockey League in this 1993-94 season, and what a place to open up. This building can be intimidating. In fact, Roger Nielsen telling us that he spent some time with some of the rookies on the Panther Hockey Club, letting them know what they were going to be in for here tonight. Playing in this building. Roenick. Down low, Noonan. Chelios. Or Goulet. Back to Chelios. Two-man advantage for the next minute, 15 seconds. Goulet, Chelios. Quick shot. Turned aside by Van Beesbroek as he got a pad on it. Noonan. Roenick. Lets one go from the circle. And again, Van Beesbroek got a piece of that one. Roenick will try again. Roenick. Noonan. To the point, Chelios. Great save by Van Beesbroek. Rebound swept right back out of the stick of Chelios. Again, a shot deflected by Noonan. And I think Van Beesbroek got a piece of that one. Chelios. In front. Goulet. And he tried to send it cross ice for Roenick. And that pass just failed to click. Noonan in across the line. Roenick. 32 seconds left in the two-man advantage. Roenick for Noonan. The pass failed to click. Noonan picks up the puck behind the net. Now sends to Chelios. Chelios chased by Skrudlin. Cross ice. Roenick shot goes wide. Goulet on the rebound. Couldn't get the backhander. Chelios with a shot blocked in front by Skrudlin. And then it's fired up into the crowd here at the stadium in Chicago.
I tell you, the Chicago Blackhawks are looking for more firepower. They put their two best gunners on the point in Chelios and Roenick. They stood back and just fired away. This man we're looking at now, Van Beesbroek, just kept pushing that puck away, sliding from side to side, has been tested vigorously in the very first. Here we go. Puck goes back to Chelios, winding up 35 feet away. High shot. These are standing up, taking it. Here again, covering for the rebound. Not much defenseman can do in that point. You're trying to play zone defense. Obviously, when you're down two men, there's no way you can look at man-to-man. Here's Chelios, last year's Norris Trophy winner, teeing it up 2 or 3 times, but being foiled by John Van Beesbroek.
The Blackhawks had but one shot in the first penalty that the Panthers served. But here on this two-man advantage, they've had 5 straight shots and now lead on the shot clock 6-1. But we're still scoreless in the first period. Van Beesbroek having some work done on his right pad. And he got the go-ahead from referee Lance Roberts to go over to the bench and get some assistance. Fans catch the action of the Panthers' historic first week at the Miami Arena. Thursday, it's the $12 million man, Alexander Daig of the Ottawa Senators. Saturday, the 17th, the state rivals, the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then Tuesday, the 19th, the great one, Wayne Gretzky and the LA Kings make their only appearance of the year. Get tickets through Ticketmaster by phone or any Ticketmaster outlet. It's the fastest and most exciting of all spectator sports.
Daryl Sutter, one of the many Sutters in this organization. Brent Sutter, you're watching tonight, playing center. Former New York Islanders, came over here in a trade 2 years ago. His brother, Rich Sutter, just came over in the waiver draft from St. Louis. And in the minor leagues, they have coaching their minor league team, Dwayne Sutter, my former teammate, Jeff, in Long Island, also winner of 4 Stanley Cups. Now doing a job developing players for Daryl Sutter and the Chicago Blackhawks.
And, of course, Brian Sutter coaching the Boston Bruins, formerly the St. Louis Blues. And Ron Sutter, the twin brother of Rich Sutter, still plays for the Blues. And, by the way, we'll have that game for you tomorrow night on the Sunshine Sports Network. Of course, the major attraction there will be Brett Hull and the St. Louis Blues.
And Phil Housley's newly acquired defenseman.
Absolutely. Roenick sidesteps a check there. Sent to the point and out. 24 seconds left. Panthers down just a man now. Swept into the zone by Chelios. 13:38 left to go in this scoreless first period. 13 seconds remaining in the penalty to Keith Brown.
Jeff, this is the only time during the game that the Panthers, while being a man down, are able to shoot the puck the length of the ice. They will not be called for icing. And that being that they are a man down. Now at 5 aside.
Brown out of the box, races over to the bench, teams at full strength. No score in this first period. Centering pass in across the line. Turned around there was Dave Christian. Moved by the Panthers to the line and out over the stick of Marchment. Skrudlin in over the line. Tries to feather a pass through to Huff, but he was covered up. Levens, far side. Trying to dig free and doing just that is Huff, but it's right to a Blackhawk. Now the left wing. This is Marchment with a shot. Getting a glove on it, Van Beesbrook. Centering pass by the Blackhawks. Picked off by Lemieux. Stick to side, Van Beesbrook. Huff leading the Panthers out of their own zone. Skrudland sends it off the boards, but it's played by the Blackhawks. And just swept into the zone by Muni. Back come the Panthers. Niedermeyer across the line. The 18-year-old rookie drops it for Smith. Deflected wide by Lowry. Off on the far side. Kimball, who was a Panther in training camp, upends his man Smith. Play continues in the Chicago zone. Now in the left wing to center. Lemieux in full flight. Crosses the line. Works on Brown. And the former teammates at close quarters. No damage done there. Benning, Brown. Pass intended for Niedermeyer ends up in the Blackhawks zone with 11:55 left in the scoreless first period. Panthers a little nervous, I would think, here. Dennis wanting to make a pretty good impression first night out.
Well, I think right now they find themselves just finally getting out of their zone after successfully killing off that 5-on-3, which is a big kill for them. Now they're going to start regrouping, and I have no doubt that nerves are a big part of this game.
Van Beesbrook sends to the corners. Sorella had it taken away by Murphy, but it's onto the stick of the Panthers, who come out over the zone. Lomakin looking in front, backhanded shot by Belanger, and Belfour got that one. Second shot for the Panthers here tonight, as Belfour blocks it from point-blank range. Now Lomakin in across the line. Davidov trailing, delayed penalty upcoming to the Blackhawks, and the Panthers will get their first power play when we return here on the Panthers Television Network.
Hey Panther fans, NHL hockey is finally here. People always ask me the question, how fast is the game? Let's find out. On the right we have a hockey player. On the left we have a world-class sprinter. Ready? Go! A stunning upset! This is unbelievable!
Call for season tickets or stop by any Nations Bank or Blockbuster.
Jeff Rimmer along with Dennis Potvin and Steve Michael here at the Chicago Stadium on the Panthers Television Network.
Oh, we see the slashing coming up. This is the most skilled line. Nice play to Belanger from Lomakin. Jesse Belanger playing between the two Soviet players. Here's the slash. We'll see Brent Sutter coming in from the right side of your screen. Ouch. Trying to hold him up. Got a good slash on him. Lance Roberts again. Not going to let anything get by. Brent Sutter's going to serve his 2 minutes for slashing. The first power play for the Panthers ever.
And Roger Nielsen employing a line of Belanger out there with Levens and Lomakin. Murphy playing the right point. Lomakin puts it onto the stick of Chelios, who skates it out of the zone from center. Chelios now in across the Panthers zone. And here comes Belanger leading the attack in across the line, called on the offside. Now what happened there and how we explain it for the newcomers to this fast and exciting sport. First player across the opposition blue line must have the puck, Dennis.
Well, that's the only way it's going to work, and it's the same way at both blue lines. We try and look at it as sort of the line of scrimmage. The Blackhawks obviously are going to do their best to defend it. They're short a man at this time. They'll have to back in a little more, but that blue line is definitely only crossed first by the puck, then the player carrying the puck. Everybody else has to follow behind.
Smith sends it into the Panther zone. Minute 35 remaining in Florida's power play. Dished off for Goodinyak. Goodinyak sending into the Blackhawks zone, played by Dirk Graham, getting his first shift of the night. Shot by Murphy. Belfour save. Rebound with the net open, and Lomakin can't hang on to it. Lomakin had Belfour out of position, but he could not hang on to that puck. Great scoring opportunity for the Panthers there.
Murphy.
This is Levens. Chased by Mateau. 55 seconds remaining in the Panther power play. Vidignac dishing off on the right wing for Benning. Cross ice pass in across the line. Now there's the other offside rule. 2-line pass. From inside the blue line over the red center line, it's a 2-line pass, and offside the call.
Eddie Balfour is last year's Vezina Trophy winner and also Jennings winner. Here's Murphy getting that shot on Belfour. Now watch the big guy Levens in front. Being knocked down, bowls over Belfour. The net is wide open. Lomakin fighting desperately to get an opening. We're going to see it from a little better angle. The brawn of Levens in front, bowls over. But you're not going to call a penalty because Belfour is outside of his crease. Lomakin trying to get in. Blackhawks recover well. All 4 players right in front of the net.
Puck just rolled off the stick of Lomakin. Had a pretty good preseason for the Panthers, scoring 4 goals in 6 games. Niedermeyer down the left wing. Off into the corner, Mellanby. Mellanby for Niedermeyer. Hit from behind by Muni, and it's stolen away by the Blackhawks and sent down the ice with 22 seconds left in the Brent Sutter penalty for slashing. One last rush up ice here for the Panthers. Brown dishes ahead here. Bending on the right wing by Christian. Sends it into the Blackhawks zone off of the far side. Niedermeyer overskates it. He's held up by Rich Sutter, who overskates the puck. And Smith draped along the wall by Mellanby. Smith getting the worst of that exchange. Niedermeyer bumped by Smith as Sutter comes out of the box. The team's at full strength. And the puck cleared all the way back down to the Panther end. Brown will touch it. And it'll be an icing call here against the Blackhawks. Scoreless on the Panthers television network. Jeff Rimmer, Dennis Potvin, Steve Michael back here at the stadium in Chicago. A scoreless first period on opening night for the Florida Panthers as they take on the Blackhawks here in Chicago. Skrudlin and Roenick set for the draw to the right of Ed Belfour.
Here's that encroachment rule that we'll talk about, explain a little bit a little later, but players have to stay outside that big circle. That big wide circle you see all around is so that the players who are not involved in the faceoff stay out there. And if you move in, first opportunity, we'll get back to you.
From the drop, scramble in front of Belfour. And again, the Panthers unable to get a shot away. Stolen away. Here's Lomakin looking on the right wing for Levens. Bumped by Smith. Levens sends it behind the net as he was hit. Roenick back for the Blackhawks. He, Goulet, and Noonan crossed the line, but tipped off his stick, and it's played by Huff. Huff with Skrudlin and Levens. The 3 crossed the line. Belfour behind the net. Leaves there for Smith. Sent it to the corner to Roenick. Roenick flipping it high in the air and down into the Panther end. Back to play, it's Sorella, paired on the point with Brown. Skrudlin away from Joe Murphy. Brown back to Skrudlin. Picks it up along the boards. Murphy sends him to the ice, and here comes a penalty. Joe Murphy. Out of the net comes Van Beesbrook. Panthers have an extra man, and Belfour taking a shot at one of the Panthers cruising through the crease there.
Well, it's a classic example of just trying to help your goaltender and protect him. Chelios, of course, taking care of that. Here's Joe Murphy. He's going to go to the penalty box. Again, we're going to see the penalty. Well, actually, here, what we're going to see is Lindsay going into the net. Now, obviously, this is not intentional, but Chelios, 282 minutes of penalties last year. We'll come and say to him and talk to him right in his face. We talked about the neutral zone being a safe zone for everybody. You shouldn't have to do this. There's no reason for Joe Murphy to pull down the Panther player in the neutral zone where he really is not a threat to score. He really is not a threat at all because all he does is face the two Chicago defenders. Dale Sutter, I'm sure, is not very happy. Those are the needless kinds of penalties that you try and stay away of during the game. You don't want to make those kinds of turnovers.
So again, the Panthers get the power play. Playing 5 skaters on 4. On the left wing, across the line, Niedermeyer with Mellanby and Davidov. Davidov has the puck. Turns, sends to Brown at the point. Winds up with a shot. Pad save, Belfour. Right back to Niedermeyer. Bumped by Marchman. Davidov, Niedermeyer walks in front of the net, and Belfour sliding out with a pad save. Loose puck, score! Niedermeyer, I believe, has the first goal in the history of the Florida Panthers, and it's a power play goal. And that for Niedermeyer, if indeed he gets it, will be his first goal in the National Hockey League.
We're going to look at it closely. Davidov moving in with the puck. Nice little shuffle pass to Niedermeyer. Certainly breaks in. Now we're going to see who finally gets the stick on the puck. Here we are, Mellenby. Mellenby jumped in, got the puck on his forehand and put it away. And we're going to see a little closer again. Good shot by Niedermeyer. But we'll see Mellenby in the back, standing now, jumping, makes contact with that puck. First goal, the Panther history, Scott Mellenby.
A power play goal for the Panthers. And indeed, Scott Mellenby, the former Edmonton Oiler and Philadelphia Flyer, out of the University of Wisconsin. That's the first goal in the history of the Florida Panthers, and they lead the Blackhawks 1-0. Roenick, cross ice, kept aside by Noonan. Noonan chased by Niedermeyer. Goulet, draped along the wall by Sorella. This is Roenick sending in front of the net. Played by Mellenby, and it's all the way down into the Blackhawks zone. This will be icing as the Blackhawks touch up with 7 minutes left in the first period.
Well, if you wonder why Lowry chased Smith down in the end, had Lowry gotten there first, it would have been an onside pass, simply because both players, Lowry was on the Panther side of the center ice before he was shot down. Had he beaten the defenseman to the other end, it would not have been a whistle. The play would have continued.
All right, Warner, what do you think?
There's the experience on the Panthers. Lowry, Mellenby. And then on the left, you see young Scott Niedermeyer. Got the assist on the first ever Panther goal.
You know, you talk in terms of these Florida Panthers. You see Scott Mellenby, what they were able to do, Bob Clark, Bill Torrey, Roger Nielsen, is to draft Dennis character players. Players that they knew were going to help them.
Well, that's the way they started the game. They're going to rely a lot on Mellenby, a lot on Sprudlin and Lowry. And I watched Dave Lowry before the game. He was pacing up and down. He's getting ready and pumped. He came out to look at the stadium while it was empty. He knew what the ambiance was going to be like. Loud, deafening, very intimidating building to play in.
Here's the first fight of this hockey game. And Levens going at it here with Neil Wilkinson, the former San Jose Shark. And that one was pretty even. Wilkinson starting, and Levens getting a couple of shots in at the end. We'll be back on the Florida Panthers television network with the score. The Panthers won. The Blackhawks, no score.
Hi, Panther fans. NHL hockey is finally here. The question people ask me, hey, what's with that stick? Well, used correctly, it's a lethal scoring weapon. But inappropriate use, such as slashing, hooking, or tripping, will land you in an official NHL penalty box.
Call for season tickets or stop by any Nations Bank or Blockbuster.
What? It was a demonstration.
It is opening night for the Florida Panthers of the National Hockey League, and they lead the host Chicago Blackhawks 1-0 on a power play goal.
You see Scott Levens at the bottom of your screen. We'll see Neil Wilkinson come in. Here it is. Oh, I guess they looked at each other and said, look, I don't think you should hit me that way. Neil Wilkinson ready, and here they go. Neil Wilkinson just recently acquired from the San Jose Sharks to fill in top duty on defense.
Levens gets the additional minor for elbowing. So once again, the Blackhawks will get a power play opportunity. Penalties coming at 13-23, 5 each for fighting, and the extra minor to Levens for elbowing.
Well, I didn't see any elbow in that replay, but it might have been something other than instigating the fight. Lance Roberts wanted to get somebody out there for really having it started.
See, the Panthers here tonight have killed off 3 straight penalties, including a 2-man disadvantage. Chelios leaving the puck there for Murphy, who must retreat. Murphy first across the line, gives to Noonan. Noonan dropping it for Roenick. Chelios to Smith. The low shot glove by Van Beesbrook, and with traffic in front, hangs on.
John Van Beesbrook stopping another shot from the point, this time from Steve Smith. Now you look on the point, you're going to see Steve Smith, you're going to see Chelios. They're going to get a lot of ice time. You're getting a good look at what John Van Beesbrook gets. Now this is an easy shot. John Van Beesbrook had a chance to see it from 60 feet. You're not going to beat any goaltender any
Most of the
goaltender.
time.
Mostly John Van Beesbrook from 60 feet, if they can see the puck. Looking at that new helmet, that's a new do. Got that done just before the year started. The Panther, we've all seen it back home. It's been in the papers a lot. Got the teeth growling.
Prior to this penalty, Florida has outshot the Chicago Blackhawks 6-0 in the last 4 minutes. But the Blackhawks on the power play are 0 for 3 tonight, including a 2-man advantage. They were unsuccessful as the Panthers done an excellent job in penalty killing. Which, of course, is the trademark of Panthers coach Roger Nielsen. Noonan sends it to the point, nobody there, and the Hawks will have to regroup in their own zone. Much to the disgust of the Chicago Stadium fans, I might add. Chelios along the board, sends it high, backhanded by Roenick, but he is held up by Brown right at the red line at center ice. Brown leaves for Fitzgerald, an excellent penalty killer. Former New York Islander coming over in the expansion draft. Murphy for Chelios, couldn't control the pass. Here come the Panthers, 2-on-2. Skrudland and Fitzgerald, drop for Skrudland. Skrudland tries to step aside from Smith, and it's swept into the corner by Fitzgerald as he heads off to the bench for some fresh legs. 18 seconds left in the Blackhawk power play.
15
Knocked down by a high stick and play whistled down. Skrudland make a pretty good effort there to bat the puck out of the air and was able to do so, and play was called. He cannot knock the puck down to the high stick. Fans, one of the best ways to catch the action of your Florida Panthers is with a group. The groups are as small as 25, and you're eligible for group discounts. Call the Panthers Group Sales Department at 1-800-467-2684 to set up your group visit. Panthers Group Sales Department will provide you with sign-up sheets, bus and transportation information, and other helpful ideas to assist you with your group outing.
Well, Jeff, we talk about how well the Panthers have been doing. They haven't allowed one shot in almost 2 minutes shorthanded.
Muni, right point, 10 seconds left in the Blackhawk power play. Van Beesbrook hit from Goulet. Goulet unable to control it. He loses his edge. Sutter held up behind the net by Murphy. Skrudland turned around by Goulet. Back at full strength now are the Florida Panthers, and they send the puck into the Blackhawk zone. Hard hit by Huff on one of the Blackhawk defenders. Belfour leaves there for Droppa. The rookie Blackhawk defenseman dishes off in the corner for Muni. Right wing pass for Sutter. Playing without a helmet right now is Mellenby. Sends it off the boards and moved by Lowry. Deep into the Blackhawk zone. Belfour likes to play that puck out of the net. Decides to leave it there. On the right wing. Muni backhands right out of the stick of Godinyak. The young Soviet for the Panthers just sends it the length of the ice. 3:54 left in this period. 1-0 Florida leaves, and it's an icing call against the Florida Panthers.
Well, the Florida Panthers, as we said, they've got a lot of experience in their lineup, and they have shown it so far. They really have played much cooler hockey than I thought. Roger Nielsen has them going on very well. Here we'll see the shots on net pretty even. Now you got to figure the Panthers have killed 4 penalties, and 1 was a 5-on-3. Those players are playing well. They're moving the puck, not hanging onto the puck too much, moving it up to the forward that's ahead of them, keeping the puck ahead. Not too many drop passes, not too many of the risky plays.
Playing a controlled hockey game here for Roger Nielsen. And again, he was concerned about the kids that were playing here in this arena for the very first time. And obviously, his words with those players have certainly fared well thus far.
Well, Roger's the kind of a coach who will just look at a player and say, look, just play within yourself. We're not asking you to do more than what you can do. It's my job to try and build the team. No one player is going to be the team. He wants players just to play their game. Come and do what we expect you to do.
Nice tie, Dennis. Would you wear that one?
I wonder if he picked that up in South Florida.
I bet he did. You can find Roger in the dark with that tie on.
Oftentimes you'll find him in a dark room watching a video.
Captain Video, wasn't that his name?
That's right.
All the way back to those junior hockey days in Peterborough, Ontario, Canada. Dirk Graham sent behind the net. Off in the near corner. Hard hit by Niedermayer's. Not afraid to throw the weight around. This impressive young rookie signing before the deadline. And he is now a Florida Panther. The ripe old age of 18 years of age. Brown. Sorella. Sent out of the zone. Chelios has it inside his own line. Cross ice, Marchman. Less than 3 minutes to go. Van Beesbroek turns it aside with a stick save. Dave Christian. Bumped along the boards. Belanger tries to steal. Loose puck swept out of the zone. Very alertly so by Sorella. It's the length of the ice, and this will be an icing call again as Smith comes back. The Panthers sending it from their side of center all the way down the ice, thus the icing call. And what's ahead in our first intermission here on the Panthers Television Network? Let's find out with our colleague Steve Michael.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. A busy first period. Of course, there's 23 players that have made the trip, but yes, only 20 are on the ice tonight, and one of them will be joining us during the first intermission. Jody Hull will come alongside, the 24-year-old out of Cambridge, Ontario. And of course, last year he was with Ottawa. We'll ask him about his frustrations, his highs and lows about working with an expansion franchise. Back to you, gentlemen.
2:42 left to go in this first period. The Florida Panthers leading 1-0 on a goal by Scott Mellenby. That's the franchise's first official goal from a scramble in front on the power play. And Van Beesbroek again sticking one aside. He has been very sharp here in the Panther nets in this first period. Battle along the boards. Skrudlin trying to dig free for the Florida Panthers. Comes to the point. Kimball keeps it in. A low shot sent wide as it goes off his skate. It'll be picked up by Van Beesbroek, and he will hold on to Dave Christian, awaiting the rebound.
Smart move by John Van Beesbroek. The play was a little unorganized. He couldn't be sure whether his team, the Panthers, had control or not. Stop the play, maybe get a line change, get everybody thinking about what they're doing. But here we see that in the meantime, Lance Roberts has called a penalty for roughing on Greg Smith of the Panthers. Again, we're going to be testing the Panther penalty killing.
Number 6, Greg Smith. 2 minutes for roughing at 7.
Right there in front of the net, extended his arms. Right in front of the referee, who did not miss it.
17:44 left to go, or excuse me, 17:44 gone in this period. The penalty coming at 17:44. And again, Roger Nielsen must employ the penalty killing unit.
Greg Smith is one of the strong penalty killers for Roger. It's not nice to see him in the penalty box.
4 shots at Van Beesbroek on the last Blackhawk power play. Van Beesbroek stopping them all. Play whistle down as the Panthers cover up in their own zone. That's Joe Sorella.
Oh, Joe Sorella and Keith Brown on defense. You're looking at almost 25 years of NHL experience. You're looking at Joe Sorella, former New York Ranger, also up front, Tom Fitzgerald. The only player to score 2 goals in one penalty killing situation.
Blackhawks on the power play in the Panthers zone. Minute 40 left in the Smith penalty. Sorella dumping Roenick. The crowd figuring another penalty should be called against the Panthers to no avail here as Lance Roberts was right there, side all the way. Noonan, Chelios. Chelios backhands ahead for Joe Murphy, who sends it right back into his own zone. Chelios drop up back to Chelios, and he must come back. The Blackhawks passing atrocious here. Chelios in across the line, Roenick. Roenick, Chelios. Rapa, top of the circle, deflected wide. A minute, 1 second remaining in this Chicago power play. 1:14 left of the first period. Chelios with a shot. Van Beesbroek to the save, and he backhands into the corner. Moved by Sorella down the ice with 48 seconds left in the power play.
1 minute to play.
Best opportunity Chicago's had has been shooting from the point. Chelios or Smith, they just aren't not moving the puck very well deep down near the end of the zone.
Swept out by the Panthers right on Belfour, and again the crowd becoming a factor here, getting all over the home squad. Final seconds ticking off in the first period. 21 left in the penalty to Greg Smith as the Blackhawks send it in. Godinia hit behind the net with a hard hit from Matteau, but it's moved by Randy Gillen, the defensive specialist and faceoff man for the Panthers. And again, the Blackhawks must come up ice. Sutter behind the net. Goulet teams at full strength. Final seconds in this first period. Van Beesbroek very calmly and nonchalantly grabbing that one out of the air, and he holds on with 11.5 seconds remaining in this first period.
We'll see how the play develops. The Panthers moving man-to-man. Gillen in front of the net playing good zone defense. The Panthers have been really doing a great job of covering the zone. And here Van Beesbroek keeping an eye on the puck, being able to pick up that defenseman coming in for the shot. But you have to look at the Panthers playing good zone defense. When you're down a man, obviously it's very hard to play man-on-man unless the puck gets, the closer it gets to the net, the more you have to revert to man-on-man. But the Panthers have been intercepting a lot of passes, forcing the Chicago Blackhawks to make bad passes, therefore then getting the puck out of the zone and down the ice. Excellent penalty killing.
Blackhawks criticized in today's local papers with regards to their power play, which was a disappointing 16th best in the NHL last year. They scored 96 goals, but led the NHL with the most power play opportunities. This time around, Daryl Sutter looking for more than that 96 goals. He's talking in terms of over 100 and moving up as far as power play efficiency. But the Panthers have done an excellent job penalty killing tonight. Joppa with a shot wide. Near side. Matteau in front. Sutter. Touch pass for Goulet, and he could not get his stick on it. Played off the glass and all the way down the ice as the horn goes to end the first period here in Chicago. The lone goal, a power play marker by the Panthers, Scott Mellanby. 1-0. Florida in front, and let's head downstairs to our host this evening, Steve Michael.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. More as we come back. We'll have a chance to talk to Jody Hull as the young right winger from Cambridge, Ontario will be our guest during the first intermission. Then we'll have a blockbuster video hockey tip, and then we'll come back to Jeff and Dennis with highlights and stats. We'll be back with more from your local stations here on the Panthers TV network.
Now he's got his own Skrudland, Huff, and Mellanby. Roger Nielsen going with a veteran trio up front here to start the second period. Murphy and Gudiniuk paired on the point for the Panthers. Chelios and Marchment for the Blackhawks. And we are all but set for the second period here on the Florida Panthers television network. And chase from the circle there was Skrudland trying to get an unfair advantage. Thus he gets chased from the circle. But the Panthers win the draw, and it's in the Blackhawks zone. Chelios moves it ahead here down the right wing. Murphy behind the play gets tied up with Skrudland as play continues. Those two chop at each other. Huff, a pass behind Mellanby. Marchment chased by Mellanby, but play is called, and we're going to get a cross-checking penalty here. Cross-checking call early in the second period, and Skrudland and Murphy still exchanging words. Those two got tied up, Dennis, behind the play.
Oh, Skrudland doing something he really shouldn't have done. At this point, Murphy was getting a penalty. He seemed to be getting a 2-minute penalty for cross-checking all by himself. Now, Brian Skrudland came to him and said a few things. Obviously, wasn't happy with the cross-check. It was behind the play. Skrudland told him something, and Lance Roberts came in and said, look, you guys can't talk like that. Skrudland, you're off for 2 minutes as well. This is a relief now for Daryl Sutter. Rather than being short one man, it's even size. Coincidental pennies.
You're absolutely right. That's something that Skrudland should not do. The original power play was going to go, in fact, to the Florida Panthers. And we'll be back with you again tomorrow evening on the Sunshine Television Network against Brett Hull and the St. Louis Blues. Our pregame show with Steve Michael will begin at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, right here on the Sunshine Network.
22 seconds.
Now they're going to play 4 men aside. Coincidental penalties. This opens up the ice a little bit. You're going to see some of the better skaters out there. Jeff Roenick, of course, one of the better skaters in the league. 4 men aside means that there's one fewer people, obviously, opens up the ice a little more.
Picked off. The excellent play made by Huff, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Matteau. Matteau and neutralized Chelios with Roenick. Stolen away there by Randy Gillen. And Gillen and Huff, two of the fine defensive forwards on this Panther hockey club out there, working against the Blackhawks in this 4-on-4 situation. Gillen tries to send it in front as he stole the puck, but it's got right back there for Matteau. Matteau down the left wing, held up by Murphy. Sorella takes a hit from Roenick. Loose puck along the boards. Murphy dishes ahead here for Sorella. Huff stands at the blue line as the shot goes off the blocker pad of Belfour. Panthers change on the fly. Chelios jumping up in the play. Just rolls it deep into the Panther end. This is Murphy. High off the glass by the Blackhawks bench. And all the way down the ice, it'll be played by Wilkinson. Neil Wilkinson playing his first game as a Blackhawk, coming over from the San Jose Sharks, a former Minnesota North Star. Dirk Graham, blocker pad save, Van Beesbrook. Along the board, swept behind Van Beesbrook, who comes out. Sends it to the point. Wilkinson with a shot deflected wide. 32 seconds remaining, and the coincidental minor penalties is Lomakin. Working on Wilkinson all by himself. Backhand shot. Belfour had it with a pad save. Lomakin sent to the ice. No penalty call, but much to the light of the crowd. Wilkinson leveling Lomakin. Dave Christian. Wilkinson. Smith to Lemieux in full flight across the line, but it's called on a two-line pass. Inside the blue line, or rather, just over the blue line, and as well over that red line in the two-line pass.
We're going to watch one of the Soviets, Andrei Lomakin, coming in one-on-one, hard to get around, but what he wants to do is just get a shot on net. He's done a job, and he's done it well. Followed through. Here's a defenseman's going to follow through on him. But Lomakin did what he had to do. One-on-one's a very difficult thing to do. The defenseman's very strong. He's going to play the man, try and keep you from even getting a shot on net. So for Lomakin to come in off the off wing and get a backhand shot on net is a very good scoring opportunity for him.
All of 10 seconds remaining in the minors to Skrudland and Joe Murphy of the Blackhawks. Lemieux steps into Guditnyuk, who's playing without a stick now. But it is the Panthers in control. Murphy to Skrudland behind the defense, and again it's called on a two-line pass.
Boy, Skrudland got the puck coming out of the penalty box right behind the Chicago Blackhawk defenseman. Now the reason why this was a two-line pass, offside pass, you're going to see Niedermeyer cradling the puck deep in his zone. Still a beautiful pass. Watch this. Behind the blue line, across center ice line, two lines. Offside pass will not be allowed in any game, Jeff.
One of two ways offsides can be called. We showed you in the first period where the puck carrier, but most importantly the puck, must be the first object across the opposing blue line. Gudinyak takes a hit again from Lemieux, but makes the pass to Mellenby. Lowry off the boards at center. He and Niedermeyer across the line. Lowry on the left wing tries to center it. Niedermeyer hit along the wall. Delayed penalty upcoming here against the Blackhawks. They touch it. Van Beesbrook out of the net, but the Panthers will get a power play, leading 1-0 on a first period goal by Scott Mellenby.
These days, there's so many options. But if you put your money with us right now, you get a great central location, convenient operating hours, and free checking.
NHL hockey is coming this October. Just in time for Halloween.
Jeff Rimmer along with Dennis Potvin. And as well, Steve Michael coming to you from the Chicago Stadium on the Panther Television Network.
Troy Murray making the hit on Niedermeyer, gets a boarding penalty.
And the Panthers, who are 1 for 2 on the power play, again with the extra man. Sutter across the line, and it's called in the offside.
That boarding penalty, Jeff, is called when a player is a couple of feet from the boards and is being hit from behind. And Troy Murray came in and hit Niedermeyer from behind. And the reason they do that is to try and limit the injuries in play, because in a case like this, had the player not been as strong as Niedermeyer, he might have fallen forward, face first into the boards, and risking a terrible neck injury or back injury. So they felt that they wanted to try and limit those kinds of injuries, and therefore instituting more careful calls on these, such as a boarding call on Troy Murray.
You see the numbers for the Panthers tonight with the extra man. Chelios in neutral ice. Away from Levens. Steve Smith right back to Chelios. Chelios up the middle for Graham. Picked off by Belanger. Tried to put it on the stick of Levens, and then golfed into the zone by Gudinyak. Steve Smith slaps it right back down the ice. And Van Beesbrook will leave for Murphy. A minute 20 left of the power play. Move deep in on Belfour, and he'll cover up with Belanger there. And I believe we're going to get another penalty call here. This one for interference.
The interference on Scott Mellanby. Just when we saw... Oh, this will be on Lomakin. Sorry.
Florida penalty, number 19, Andre.
We're going to see it up here, coming up on the screen. You see Lomakin creating the interference here against the defenseman.
2 minutes for interference at 3:30.
Again, a situation that is not one that you would call ideal. You've got the power play. You've got one-man advantage for 2 minutes. If anything, you want your players to be disciplined enough not to take penalties, especially in the neutral zone. Again, the neutral zone is a zone between the two blue lines. Really not a danger zone, a safe zone. If you take penalties there, coaches will think those very unnecessary penalties.
And you can see Roger Nielsen not at all pleased with the Lomakin penalty, nullifying the Florida power play. The team's again playing 4 skaters on 4. Hronek, who has a little more ice to work with, in across the line. Sends it off the boards, picks it right back up, but it's knocked off his stick by Gudinyak. Noonan digs free. Noonan, Wilkinson, Hronek to Wilkinson, and he could not keep it in the offensive zone. Niedermeyer chases the Hawk defenseman, who feeds to Hronek, knocked off his stick by Mellanby, right back to Wilkinson. Hawks getting some wires crossed there, and it's Belfour throwing it on the wing for Wilkinson. 31 seconds remaining in the Murray penalty, and then it'll be a Blackhawk power play, albeit a brief one. Hronek chased back into his own zone, away from Lowry to Wilkinson. Blackhawks and the Panthers change on the go. This is Hronek sliding into the zone. Murphy circles inside his own blue line, sends cross ice over the stick of Lowry. It'll be played by Wilkinson, who backhands away from Lowry, gets some help from Goulet. Goulet chased by Randy Gillen, or rather Mike Huff. This is Chelios across the line. Drops it there, and the shot right on Van Beesbrook, the cool customer once again. Blackhawks on the power play. This one moved by Lemieux to Chelios, hops over his stick and all the way down into the Blackhawks zone. The fans getting on the Blackhawks, who again unable to sustain any kind of pressure in the Panther zone with the extra man. 12 seconds left. Oh, takes a wicked bounce, and it hit the goalpost. A wicked bounce off the backboard, comes in front of the net with Van Beesbrook out of position, and that one may have grazed off the far post. Drapa backhands ahead. The teams are at full strength. Davidov for Skrudlin. Davidov for Lomakin on the left wing. Swept ahead by Chelios and played into the Panther zone. Approaching the 6-minute mark of the second period. Florida leads 1-0 in their inaugural game in the National Hockey League. Blackhawks got a little careless in their own zone. Marchman for Murphy. Lomakin back for the Panthers. Down the wing is Belanger, and it hops over his stick. Swept to the side. Back at the point, Smith with a shot. Penalty upcoming here against the Blackhawks. Out of the net comes Van Beesbrook, and it's going to be another charging penalty. No, an elbowing call against the Blackhawks. We'll be back. Jeff Irmer, Dennis Potvin back here on the Florida Panthers Hockey Network.
Here we see that shot. Joe Murphy winding up, stepping into it. Look at Van Beesbroek again, probably being screened somewhat by the players coming at him. Here's the penalty on Jocelyn Lemieux. More importantly, watch Craig Smith. He doesn't go back at him. He doesn't instigate another penalty. They'll play with a one-man advantage.
Back to the live action. It is the Panthers on the power play with the minor to Lemieux for elbowing. Niedermeyer sends it into the offensive zone as he was squeezed out along the boards by Brent Sutter. Sent up the middle by Belfour all the way down. And the goaltenders play catch. Van Beesbroek. Ahead for Benning. Mellenby for Niedermeyer. Davidov in front of the net. They tried to get the puck to him, but it hopped over his stick. Benning, left point. Cross ice, Brown. Brown shot. Knocked down in front, off the inside of the goal post. And again, Mellenby deflecting that shot, but Belfour covers up, and that one hit the inside of the pipe there.
That's why you see so many people gathering in front of the net. And here Keith Brown shooting the puck, just a wrist shot, getting it into the area. Davidoff is in there fighting, trying to get some open. Benning will move it over. And here's Keith Brown just taking a little wrist shot, just directing it towards the net. But look at the bounce it takes. Hits the post, sits there. Fortunately for Belfour, it did not go backwards into the net. Here we get it again. It was Chelios that it hit. Hit Chelios off the post. Davidoff was in there trying to fish it in, but just couldn't get at it. Belfour was just a little quicker this time.
Minute 19 left in the penalty to Lemieux. Godunyak shot deflected wide. Levens. Off on the far side comes to Godunyak. Top of the circle. The shot knocked down by Chelios. Slapped off the boards and down the ice.
Not a bad play. The Panthers defense are concentrating on directing the puck towards the net, maybe getting a good bounce, getting a good shot, screen goal, anything. Not risking too many passes so far.
Belanger, Godunyak, top of the circle, fakes the shot, slides it in front, open net with Belfour out of position, and it's fired wide.
Here's one situation where the shot wasn't taken. Godunyak trying to make the pass across the crease rather than shooting. Puck went errantly wide.
Belanger down the left wing, slaps it into the offensive zone. 31 seconds remaining in the Panthers power play. Lomakin digs free. Murphy with a shot between the circles that goes wide. Belanger out of the corner, slides it in front, goes off his skate, up into the crowd. 18 seconds left. 18 seconds remaining in the Lemieux penalty. Another face-off in the Florida zone.
Now we're looking at Jesse Belanger, one of the guys you can call slick. Handles the puck very well, moves it around, tried to make a breakout pass to Lomakin just on the last play.
Fans Panther Pack seats are available to each Panther game and are hockey's best value. Panther Pack tickets go on sale 10 a.m. the morning of each home game and are only $8 each. Tickets can be purchased by phone through Ticketmaster at any Ticketmaster outlet or at the arena box office. Panther Pack tickets for opening night go on sale 10 a.m. on Tuesday, so you'll have to hurry. There are only a few hundred Panther Pack tickets available for each home game. Draw one by Sutter. Played around the boards by Muni. Knocked to the corner by the Panthers. Lowry getting some help from Mellenby, but it's Lowry out of the pack with 7 seconds left. Here Graham, the fine penalty killers for the Blackhawks, just rolls it down the ice into the Panther end. Van Beesbroek will play it back to neutral ice, and the power play is over. Wilkinson touches it, and it's an icing call against Florida, so the faceoff will come back deep into the Panther end.
Jeff, I mean, for our viewers at home, if you say, why are the teams now playing from different sides of the screen? Well, that's very simple. What happens is that in every building, 3 periods of hockey are played. The home team gets to choose which side of the rink they want to start on. Usually it's closer to their dressing room or whatever the reason. When the building is built, they choose a side of the playing area that they want to have 2 periods. And oftentimes teams will go into the greater buildings like Montreal, Edmonton, and Boston and say it's because the ice is slanted their way that they have that side of the ice 2 periods out of 3.
You ever get the impression playing in Montreal or the Boston Garden that you were playing uphill sometimes?
That's why I mentioned it. Every time it felt like I was skating uphill and they were coming downhill.
Well, it certainly wasn't because you were in bad shape, right? Roenick.
I'm not even going to answer that.
Behind the net. Blackhawks with some pressure in the Panther end. Roenick. Wilkinson. Couldn't keep it in at the left point. Then he's hammered from behind for extra measure. Hard hit. Fitzgerald on Lemieux. The Blackhawks gain the offensive zone. Van Beesbrook for Lindsay. Couldn't cradle the puck. Slapped out by Gillen. And a neutral ice. Blackhawks. Wilkinson sends back in. Approaching the midway point of the second period and the hockey game. 10:42 remaining. And the play called. Whistle down on the offside with 10:39 left. You're watching Florida Panthers hockey on the Panther Television Network.
Remember the rule.
Puck comes free for Newman. Knocked off his stick by Benning. Benning, backhand pass for Huff. 2-on-1 with Sprudlin. Huff fires a shot wide of Belfour, who had the angle. Back come the Blackhawks. This is Christian off the skate of Goulet. Swept out of the zone. Huff coming back with Sprudlin, who takes the pass on the right wing. From a sharp angle, Belfour the save, and he covers up on the rebound with the Panthers team captain waiting on the doorstep. 9:56 left to go. Folks, don't forget, we'll have more Panthers hockey for you on the Sunshine Network this Saturday. The Panthers in Tampa against their cross-state rivals, the Lightning. Our pregame show with Steve Michael right here on the Sunshine Network at 7 o'clock.
Yes, the Panthers definitely becoming the more explosive team, taking good shots, really making Belfour work. This period, Belfour's seen a lot more action than before. Close-in shots, driving players, even a 2-on-1 where Help shot just wide of the net.
Roger Nielsen offering words of encouragement to his young hockey club.
It's a good mixture of young and old. And we're seeing a lot of poise here, especially on young players like Niedermeyer, who has been scouted as having good poise.
The late penalty upcoming here as Godiniuk sends it wide of Belfour. And let's see what the call is here. You know, there's really been no flow to this hockey game. Roberts has been really calling this one tight.
Well, it certainly has. It's early in the season. Here we see Brent Sutter going to the penalty box for hooking. This time working over his man deep into the zone. Here we'll see it here where he pulls a player down. It's Lomakin. He pulls him down from behind on the right side of your screen. Lance Roberts right there pointing at Brent Sutter saying, "You got it. 2 minutes for a hooking." But you're right, there just has not been a lot of flow, and you have to expect that. These are two teams that are concentrating on their defensive game. They don't have a lot of scoring power. Certainly, admittedly, Chicago, Darryl Sutter figures he's going to have to do something about it. Roger Nielsen knows he doesn't have a lot of scoring power, but he's got to concentrate on the defensive game. They've both been playing hard defensively, and therefore the flow is a little choppier, Jeff.
There you see the numbers. 1 for 4 on the power play. The Mellenby goal, the only goal of this hockey game, with Florida leading 1-0. That goal coming in the first period. And Beesbrook off the glass. Played by the Panthers. Belanger out of the zone. This is Levens picking it up away from Troy Murray. Now retreating behind the net is Godiniuk. And at 36 in the power play. Sends it on the right wing. Murphy, Godiniuk. Belanger on the left wing. Kicks it ahead, but it's swept out of the zone by Troy Murray. Back in the offensive zone. Murphy knocks it down, but Dirk Graham sends it right on Van Beesbrook.
The Blackhawks being much more forceful in this penalty killing. They're 4 against 5, but yet you see them forcing the Panther defensemen to move the puck, pass the puck a little quicker than they want.
Keith Brown sees Niedermeyer across the line, tries to stick handle his way by Smith, throws the backhander in front, but Matteau skates it on. Near corner. Bouncing puck. Smith takes a hit from behind by Niedermeyer. The youngster not afraid to throw the weight around.
Taking on no small chicken there. Steve Smith, 215 pounds.
In front, off the goalpost again. Davidov trying to get the rebound. So the goalpost again coming to the rescue of Ed Belfour, who was beaten. It's off the pipe, and he covers up with the rebound.
Eddie Belfour is looking around saying, those goalposts are my friends tonight. We're going to see it coming from the corner. Where Niedermeyer doing that good work against Steve Smith we were talking about. Niedermeyer picking it up in front. What a good play. Here's a shot actually knocked right out of the air. Some people say hitting a baseball is tough. Hitting that puck right out of the air is equally as hard, right off the post. Again, it sits there. Doesn't seem to want to roll in any direction. Balfour finally notices it just as it moves away. Strong work out of the corner by Niedermeyer. Good scrambling in front of the net by the Panthers.
Hard-working effort. You can expect this from Roger Nielsen's teams every night. Otherwise, the players will not be in the lineup. Brown. Niedermeyer. Back to Brown. Stolen away by Matteau, and it's sent down the ice. Got to be a tough night for Keith Brown, playing his first game as a Florida Panther in a team he played for 13 seasons in the uniform of the Blackhawks, the only team he played for in the NHL.
Well, we're saying it's an intimidating building for everybody, but he's played here for 14 years. Maybe he was the most relaxed player on the Panther team.
Christian. Held up by two Panthers, comes free to Niedermeyer, and it's gloved ahead, so it'll be moved out of the zone and all the way down the ice.
Keith Brown, 14 years here with the Chicago Blackhawks. He's the kind of player that Roger likes. He's a guy who's known for his fitness, works hard, is there every day. Had an unfortunate year last year that he had shoulder surgery. It kept him out of all but 33 games. But is a solid addition, one of those types of guys you can count on game in and game out.
I'm sure he's checking that jersey, looking down at the Florida Panther in front. This guy has never, ever worn a uniform in junior hockey. He also wore the Blackhawk emblem, playing for the Portland Winterhawks. And isn't he wearing his old Blackhawk helmet?
He's wearing the old Blackhawk helmet. You see, that's all taped. That's probably a white helmet that he would have been wearing to tonight's game. But the Panthers wearing black helmets, you've got to do something. You can't spray paint it. So they take regular hockey stick tape and make it black just for tonight.
Sutter dishes off across the line. Murphy working on Gudinyak. Teams at full strength. Lemieux circles. Chased by Huff and then sends it into the corner. Another delayed penalty. Belfour out of the net. The Blackhawks will get the power play. As soon as the Panthers touch it, and indeed they do, it's Scriblin touching it, and it is a holding call that will put Chicago back on the power play.
Gudinyak will go to the box for holding, but it's an interesting thing here. The play did not stop. The referee had his arm up in the air, calling a penalty on the Panthers. The play will not stop until a Panther player touches the puck. That's so the offensive opportunities aren't taken away from the Chicago Blackhawks. You're looking here, he's got him roped. They only do that at rodeos. He's not going to get away with that. Lance Roberts coming in from behind watching. You can see Gudinyak taking a little look at the referee, say, well, maybe he'll let me get away with it. Not at all, not tonight. And again, the Panthers are faced with having to kill one more penalty. 17:27 left in the second period.
6-1 the scoring chances for Florida. Panthers with a decided edge in the second period. But in front of the power play right now, it's the Blackhawks storming the Florida net. Shot from the point, covering up, was the goaltender Van Beesbrook. And again, the face-off in the Florida end.
There's Steve Smith. 4 Stanley Cups, Steve Smith, with the Edmonton Oilers, comes in with a lot of experience. Chelios moving it over to Smith. Watch Van Beesbrook. Can't see the puck. Can't see the puck. Being covered. Goes down. Covers as much of the net as he can. Consequently, the puck hits him right in the middle of the pads. You saw it right there. He could not see that puck come at him, but he used his experience and as much padding as he could to get in front of the net and protect as much of it as he could. John Van Beesbrook showing his great experience there, being able to stop that shot without even seeing it, Jeff.
And he's cool as a cucumber here tonight, particularly sharp in the power plays the Blackhawks have had. Coming into this one, they were 0 for 6 with only 9 shots on goal, but quality scoring chances to be sure. Roenick, Smith, pinching in, Chelios, Goulet, Noonan behind the net. Chased by Brown, comes to Smith at the point. Roenick rolls it off the boards. Noonan tries to trap it and does. Stolen away by Skrudlin, but back to the left point. Comes to Chelios. Wrist shot, scores! Off the skate of Noonan and into the net. We'll have to wait and see who gets credit for the goal, but Chelios' shot may have been deflected in front.
I think we'll see once we get a chance to look at it again. Chelios' wrist shot was really deflected by Joe Cirella. Chelios again doing what we said defensemen want to do. Direct the puck towards the net. Watch Sorela's stick. The puck hits his stick.
Oh, yeah.
Redirects it completely the opposite way where John Van Beesbroek was moving. Goal for Chelios. Nobody feels better, or feels worse, I'm sorry, than Joe Sorela. Certainly not an intentional play, but these things will happen, and that's where the power of shooting from the defense position is, directed at the net. Both teams have been doing that, and as you can see, Chelios' shot paid off.
First goal of the year for the defending Norris Trophy winner in the NHL. Emblematic of the best defenseman in the National Hockey League, and for the first time tonight, in their 7th power play opportunity, the Blackhawks are on the board.
Blackhawk goal on the power play.
There's Chelios to score that goal. We're going to see why shooting the puck at the net obviously creates, here he is, gets a shot by the guy. Well, you don't exactly see here the deflection, but we've seen it throughout the game. We've seen it on the other side where Belfour has had the goalpost come in and help him, where pucks have been bounced and redirected. Chelios takes advantage of the what if. Let me shoot. What if the puck hits something and goes in? Here it happened.
13-17, the time of the goal. Steve Smith and Noonan draw the assist on the Chelios goal. Hawks and the Panthers in close quarters. No damage done as the veteran linesman Gauthier standing between Roenick and Niedermeyer. 6:20 left to go in the second period.
Well, Dwayne Sutter, who coached Niedermeyer Jr., says that kid brings a lot of poise. He's got all the tools. When he says that, he says the guy can skate, he can hit, he can play the physical game, or he can play the speed game. We've seen him do some very nice passing plays here. We've seen him run towards the net, charge at the net. We've seen him use his weight. He certainly has shown a lot of those tools, and all of those tools, can you imagine, at 18 years old, will only develop better and better in pro hockey.
This was a great draft this past June for the National Hockey League. A number of outstanding talents. The #1 pick, Alexander Daig, who's gone to your hometown team. Native of Ottawa is our Dennis Potvin. And, of course, Alexander Daig, the #1 pick, will play for the Senators this year. But an excellent draft of rookies in the NHL. Chris Pronger going #2, signed by the Hartford Whalers. As the action picks up here now, and another penalty upcoming, a charging call against the Blackhawks will put the Panthers on the power play when we return. 1-1 the score. You're watching Panthers hockey on the Panthers Hockey Network.
Hey, Panther fans, NHL hockey is finally here. People always ask me the question, how fast is the game? Let's find out. On the right, we have a hockey player. On the left, we have a world-class sprinter. Ready? Go. A stunning upset. This is unbelievable.
Call for season tickets or stop by any Nations Bank or Blockbuster.
Jeff, we're seeing the two old guys meet. Smith and Lemieux, who met once before. But here we see Kimball coming in. This is a boarding penalty he got. Remember, player was a couple of feet away from the boards. Referee Roberts doesn't want any injuries, therefore calls the penalty on Darren Kimball for boarding.
Back to live action. Panthers on the power play. They are 1 for 5 tonight with a total of 6 shots on goal. Lomakin. Murphy tries to return the pass, but it's very calmly sent down the ice by Steve Smith. Fresh penalty killers coming on for the Blackhawks as play continues. Minute 27 in the power play. Godinia. Sent off the boards by Belanger. Lemieux. And play whistle down with 5:16 left. Alexander Daig and the Ottawa Senators invade Miami's arena on Thursday night, October 14th. All fans entering the game will receive a free magnetic schedule courtesy of Arnold Bakeries. Put the schedule on your refrigerator and you'll always know when the Panthers are at home. Don't forget, see Ottawa's $12 million man, Alexander Daig, as the Senators come to town next Thursday and get your free Panthers magnet schedule. Navidad. Benning. Brown retreating behind Van Beesbrook. Knows. Fooling Troy Murray with a pass up on the left wing for Niedermeyer. Works on Chelios. Niedermeyer bumped by Troy Murray. Mellanby coming in to help out. Benning slides for Niedermeyer. And it's backhanded by Troy Murray with some hard work. Down the ice into the Panther end. 4:51 left. Brown for Niedermeyer. That pass fails to click. And neutral ice now. Loose puck left there. Brown outworking Roenick. Niedermeyer for Benning. Brown. Benning. Benning. Niedermeyer slid in past Belfour. Roenick on the backhand by Brown. Here's a break. Down the left wing. Matteau's in the clear. Matteau walks in. Shoots. Oh, what a stick save by Van Beesbrook. The most exciting play in the NHL. A clear-cut breakaway, and Van Beesbrook, again, cool as a cucumber, to rob Matteau on the breakaway. Mellanby with a shot from a sharp angle. It goes wide. Benning sends towards the net. Knocked down by Marchment. Skrudlin gives to Murphy. Belfour's got it, and he'll hold on as the teams come back to full strength. Mellanby now taking exception at that late hit. And Mellanby going at it with one of the Blackhawks. I believe that's Marchment. Couple of tough customers held off. Indeed, Marchment and Mellanby kept away from one another. No damage done. Lance Roberts will sort this one out.
Mellanby really wasn't happy with what was going on. Decided to get in there and stir things up a little bit. Marchment for the Blackhawks, 173 games. He's got 602 minutes of penalties. I guess he's no stranger to this kind of activity.
Not at all.
And what you're hearing are the fans yelling, Eddie, Eddie. There was some action happening around the net. Eddie Balfour came up with a good glove save just before this altercation, Jeff. And we'll see where it all starts. A good shot, good save by Eddie Balfour. Now watch 7. That's Chelios coming in. Now, Mellanby took exception to Chelios hitting Skrudlin, and here comes Marchment, the big defenseman. Now they're squaring off. Here it is. They've got to hang on to each other so that they can either dance or they can hold themselves up. Otherwise, on the ice, you may fall. Now, both captains, the only 2 players on the ice, one on each team, captains, are able to come to the referees and actually discuss the penalties, try and sway it one way or another. But usually at this time, it's a little too late. In this situation, Brian Skrudlin is trying to understand exactly what happened. So he's going to go back. He's going to go back to Roger Nielsen and explain what these penalties are. Now here earlier, Keith Brown missing the puck along the boards. Here's Matteau leaving, moving down on a breakaway all alone. What we're not seeing, here's the poke check. This is the way that John Van Beesbrook decided he's going to play Matteau. If you saw, the puck was a little ahead of Matteau, probably not in full control of the puck. John Van Beesbrook had to make a decision. Am I going to go back, wait for him to shoot, let him play me, or shall I play him? In this particular instance, again, the great experience with John Van Beesbrook told him, I'm going to use my stick to my advantage and poke it away from him. Good save, but better judgment by John Van Beesbrook.
Well, some interesting penalty calls here by Lance Roberts. Mellanby gets 2 and 5. 2 for cross-checking, 5 for fighting. Ryan Marchment, 2 for instigating, which means an automatic ejection from the hockey game. 5 for fighting. And again, that ejection means a game misconduct.
Well, these are rules that are, they really want to take control of these fighting. Although fighting is allowed, they want to control them, only let 2 players go at it. Marchment will be guilty almost of being third man in, I guess is what he's being called.
On the Florida Panthers Hockey Network, coming to you from the stadium in Chicago, we're tied 1-1. Jeff Rimmer, along with Dennis Potvin, the National Hockey League Hall of Famer, and Steve Michael on opening night for the Florida Panthers in the National Hockey League.
Jeff, the penalties are coincidental and therefore wave each other off. Both teams will still play 5-a-side.
Sutter wins the faceoff. Smith Races behind Belfour. Throws it on the right wing, too far for Rich Sutter. One hand's ahead by Gudinyak. Murphy hit by Brent Sutter, but coming back off with a pass to Skrudlin. Skrudlin takes the pass here, and it's called. We're going to get a high sticking penalty here against Skrudlin, team captain for the Panthers. He quickly heads to the penalty box. How much of the crowd have to play in that one?
Well, I don't blame Skrudlin for being upset with that. Watch his stick. This is as much holding on the part of Neil Wilkinson. Watch him holding his stick, holding the stick. The stick goes up into his face. It's a penalty Lance Roberts has to call. But Skrudlin is upset because he felt that originally the stick was being held. Here we're getting a different angle. Dangerous play. But Skrudlin still was very upset, and as I said, felt the stick was being held. Brian Skrudlin's going to spend 2 minutes in the box. Is more used to killing penalties than getting them.
So again, the Blackhawks, who've had a decided edge in power play opportunities, will play with the extra man once again. They're 1 for 7. Total of 10 shots they scored on their last power play. And Coach Daryl Sutter, again, indicating today here that he wants to improve on these power play opportunities. They're 1 for 7 tonight. They led the NHL last year in chances.
They led in chances with high 510, but they're only scoring at the 16th. They were 16th in the league in scoring. What he wants to do now, he wants to get his top scorers. He wants to get Roenick, and he wants to get Chelios more involved in the power play. Let's watch for 7 and 27.
Brown bumping Noonan. Move to the left point. Smith for Chelios. Traffic in front of Van Beesbrook as they try to clog the lane. Shot scores! Chelios again from the point. I don't think Van Beesbrook ever saw it.
Now here again, Chelios doing what he's done well all night, what he's done well his whole career. Control the puck. Be cool. Shoot when you get a chance to get it by the man defending you. Chelios watches. He's going to move the puck off. Now all he wants to do is get the puck by the first Panther. Watch Noonan. Now Keith Brown, as he moves across to get Noonan out of the way and open up the line of vision for Van Beesbrook, essentially ends up creating more of a screen for Van Beesbrook. We're going to see it again. Chelios' shot, you see the two people, Noonan and Keith Brown in front, trying to move Noonan out of the way, causing the screen. Again goes by Jan Van Beesbrook.
Murphy and Smith draw the assist. 2-1 Chicago on the 2 goals, the power play markers by Chris Chelios. Lemieux sent to the ice by Sorella with a hard hit. Steve Smith backhands a neutral ice. Davidoff. Lomakin. Lomakin just sends it ahead, a little poke check. Smith. Bumped by Lomakin. And it's moved by Brent Sutter all the way down, deep into the Panther end. No icing call here as it never made the red line. Lemieux. Bumped by Davidoff. Lemieux gets it back onto the stick of Sorella. Lead pass, Lomakin. Jumping up in the play is Belanger. The pass to Belanger, tries to skate to the net, but hit by Matteau. Troy Murray. Lead pass on the right wing, too far from Matteau. Muni has it go off his skate. Belanger with control in the Panther end. Played by Drapa of the Blackhawks. Off the boards, right to Van Beesbrook. Approaching the 18-minute mark of the second period as Davidoff takes the pass, top of the right circle, fires it high over top of the net. Back come the Blackhawks. Troy Murray with Dirk Graham. Murray tries to stick handle his way by the defenseman Smith. Good play by Greg Smith to hold off the Blackhawk forward. Niedermeyer tying up with Matteau. Smith trying to tie up Murray, who comes out of the corner. Troy Murray sends it towards the net, but way wide. Muni backpedals into his own zone. Both teams change on the go. Minute 19 left now in the second period. Murray over the line. The shot goes wide off the stick of Joe Murphy. Niedermeyer in neutral ice couldn't pick it up. Roenick bumping him. Chelios chased by Levens. Off on the far side, Steve Smith. Less than a minute to go now in the second period. 2-1. Blackhawks lead. Chelios. Roenick in full flight. Tries to get by Sorella. Stripped of the puck by Lowry for Levens. He's hit hard by Steve Smith in front of the Blackhawk bench. Now across the line, Roenick for Murphy. Randy Gillen bumps him along the wall. Levens looking for Lowry off the stick. Here's a lead pass for Sorella jumping up in the play. Sorella with a shot deflected wide. Rebound. Belfour up with a pad save. Goulet moves it up the ice and up into the penalty timekeeping bench where play is called. Let's go downstairs to Steve Michael.
Fans, don't go away too far from your TV set, because during the second intermission, we'll get a chance to meet for the first time the Panthers captain this year, Brian Scrudlin. And by the way, gentlemen, he's getting some good shots on goal here. And we'll update the scores. 7 games in the NHL tonight.
22 and 4/10 seconds remaining here in this second period. The Florida Panthers trailing the Chicago Blackhawks in their inaugural game in this, their first season of the NHL.
Here's Brian Scrudlin. We'll see him between periods. The Panthers really don't want to be thinking negatively at this moment. They want to be thinking that they can get 2 or 3 goals. Everybody talks about the lack of scoring punch. That's not true unless you don't score. Panthers have to be thinking they can win this game. They have played very well. Keep shooting.
Verdiniuk shot blocked by Belfour on the right wing. Christian sends ahead, backhanded by Lemieux, jumping up in the play. Muni sent towards Van Beesbrook, gloved by Murphy behind the net. Murphy on the left wing. This is Levens, sends cross ice on the right side for Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, the former Islander, centering it in front, but the horn goes to end the second period. Florida out shooting Chicago 9-7. Trailing on the shot clock 19-16, and on the scoreboard by a score of 2-1 is John Van Beesbrook, and the Florida Panthers head to the dressing room after 2 periods of play.
Will you please?
Same Chicago Stadium. They trail by a goal, 2-1, as we rejoin you here on the Florida Panthers Hockey Network. Jeff Rimer along with Dennis Potvin and Steve Michael from the stadium in Chicago on this, the inaugural night for the Florida Panthers, who see 2 power play goals scored by the Blackhawks in the second period. Chris Chelios is first of the year from Smith and Noonan at 13-17, and Chelios again from Smith and Murphy. Hawks again lead 2-1. Discover card between period stats are brought to you by Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back.
Here we see the shots on goal again. Hawks leading, but look at the scoring chances. They're even, 14-14. What that doesn't tell you is that the Panthers had 10 of those in the second period. Turnovers, 12-12. Again, those kind of turnovers, as the season goes on, the numbers will go down and down. Face-offs won pretty even. You got to credit Brian Scrudlin for a lot of those good face-offs. Jesse Belanger, they've been controlling the puck right from the drop.
A view here of the Chicago Stadium. And this will be the last year the Hawks play here as we get a look at the shots on goal, first and second periods. Chris Chelios, a total of 7 shots on goal, and he has the 2 goals for the Blackhawks. And again, the defending Norris Trophy winner. That's an award that you won, Dennis, along the way?
Yeah, I did. But Chris Chelios is the first American-born player to win the trophy, and he was born right here in Chicago. Now, as you know, he went to the Montreal Canadiens, where he won his first Norris Trophy in 1986, but was then traded for the great Dennis Savard, who's now with Tampa Bay Lightning, and we'll see a lot of in South Florida. But Chelios came here to Chicago, established himself as a great defenseman and as a great leader.
John Van Beesbrook, an outstanding game tonight in goal, despite Florida trailing 2-1, and we are underway with the third period action. Lead pass for Roenick goes astray. Back come the Panthers. Lead pass. Here's Davidov, and it's called on the offside. Another example of a 2-line pass.
Boy, the Davidov want that to be onside. He was a little disappointed. He thought that he may have had 1 foot on the blue line, which would maybe let him get away with that. We're going to have a look and see. The pass is not a 2-line pass. It comes out as an offside pass. The fact is that Davidov, as you see, is inside the blue line before the puck reaches. Therefore, an offside pass.
19:48 left to go here in this third and final period, barring overtime. Sent into the Panther zone. Along the boards. Levens tries to dig free and away from Murray. Now Sorella will try again for the Panthers. Skrudlin. The left wing pass for Huff. Huff sends it in by Wilkinson. Loose puck picked up by the Panthers and then denied as Huff comes across the left wing. Top of the circle. Belfour may have got a piece of it. And it's Lemieux. Away from Huff. Right wing for Troy Murray. Flipped high in the air and down deep into the Panther end. Hawks change on the go. Murphy slides it across. This is Gudinyak ahead. Again called on the offside. The pass for Fitzgerald. And with 19:04 left, it's a 2-on hockey game. Hawks in front.
We'll see why that shot really never got off the ground. Huff is skating in hard, but he's being hooked, and just as he's trying to deliver, we see here Lemieux really putting a hook on him. And then the puck just went off to one side. Huff went off to the other side, and Balfour just watched both of them go off either side of him.
Randy Gillen will work the face-off here against Roenick, and he wins the draw. Sorella bounces it into the Hawk zone. Chelios. Goulet. Long right wing pass. Knocked down by Sorella and sent right back into the Blackhawks end. Chelios tries again. Around on the boards for Goulet, who's held up by Fitzgerald. Chelios will work the other way. Grappa for Roenick and full flight down the right wing with Goulet. Drops it for Goulet, who's held up by Fitzgerald. Goulet with one hand on the hockey stick sends it behind the net. Murphy stepped in too. Roenick hit by Keith Brown, the former teammate. Backhanded by Goulet and tipped behind Van Beesbroek. But wide. Here's another shot from a sharp angle. Roenick sending it wide. Grappa shovels it ahead. Goulet tied up along the boards. Puck comes free to Roenick. Tries to center it in front for Chelios. In off the point, and the Panthers are going to be called for pulling down Chelios. Chelios pinching in. And a penalty upcoming here to Randy Gillen for hooking.
Well, Chelios is good not only at getting goals, but causing penalties. Here we'll see coming in wide on Gillen. Now, Chelios looks to me more like he lost his footing, and I think I have to agree with Randy Gillen as to why should I get a penalty if the guy trips and falls at his own. But in any event, we have the availability of the replay, which Mr. Roberts, our referee, does not have, and he called it as he saw it. And he thought that Randy Gillen did hook Chelios. Now Roger's going to have to see who he's going to put out there to keep killing those penalties.
Blackhawks have scored 2 power play goals. In fact, in their last 2 opportunities, are 2 for 8 on the night. 11 shots on goal, and the 2 goals. Smith left point. Smith fires the shot in front. Van Beesbroek rebound, shoveling it to the short side was Noonan, but Van Beesbroek with the kick pad save. This is Skrudlin backhanding it in deep to the Hawks end. Belfour knees for Smith. Wilkinson lays it behind Belfour. Steps in front of the net. Leads the Blackhawk attack out of the zone. Wilkinson looking on the right wing for Matteau. Van Beesbroek out of the net. Sends for Belanger, and it's out of the zone. Racing after it down the left wing. Panthers had it knocked off their stick. Gets it right back. Some good hustling work by Bill Lindsay. Now Smith behind the net with 1:04 remaining in the power play. Slides ahead. Murphy. Roenick by Sorella. Roenick slips and falls. Tries to center it in front. Stolen away by Sorella. 50 seconds left in the power play for Blackhawks. Belfour. Leaves for Grappa. Grappa out of the zone. Rink wide pass too far for Roenick. Played by Sorella, and he hammers it down deep into the Blackhawks zone by Chelios, who must retreat with 30 seconds remaining in the Chicago power play. Rush up ice, led by Chelios, who has the 2 Blackhawk goals. Grappa by Murphy. Loose puck picked up along the boards by Goulet. Sidesteps a check. Roenick turned around by Murphy. Grappa rolls it into the corner. Goulet is there. Turned around by Benning and hammered down the ice by Murphy.
Panthers are doing a very good job at outnumbering the Blackhawks deep in their zone. Even though they're one man short, they're moving onto the puck quickly and taking control, getting it down the ice and out of trouble.
Van Beesbrook plays it the length of the ice. The team's at full strength. Back to play it is Smith, and the icing call against the Florida Panthers. With the score, Chicago 2, Florida 1. You're watching Panthers hockey on the Panthers Hockey Network.
Hi, Panther fans. NHL hockey is finally here. The question people ask me, hey, what's with that stick? Well, used correctly, it's a lethal scoring weapon. But inappropriate use, such as slashing, hooking, or tripping, will land you in an official NHL penalty box.
Call for season tickets or stop by any Nations Bank or Blockbuster.
What? It was a demonstration.
From the stadium in Chicago, you're watching Florida Panthers hockey on this, the opening night of the NHL season for the Panthers, their inaugural game, and they trail Chicago by a score of 2-1 here in the third period. You see the time remaining. Pretty good effort here tonight by this first-year expansion team, but they trail on 2 power play goals by Chris Chelios. Steve Smith hammers it. Sent wide of Van Beesbrook. Played by Gudiniak, looking for Mellenby. Backhanded into the offensive zone. Troy Murray off the boards. Lemieux backhands to center. Brown sends it right back in, finds an opening, and is deep in the Blackhawk zone. Niedermeyer away from Dirk Graham. Niedermeyer tries to backhand in front. Panthers. Mellenby to the point. Brown with a shot that goes wide. Lowry tied up in front of Belfour, awaiting a rebound. Knocked down. Muni, Murray, Lemieux 2-on-2 with Dirk Graham. Lemieux had it poked off his stick by Lomakin defensively, or rather Gudiniak, who picks it right back up. This is Gudiniak for Mellenby. Mellenby dumps into the offensive zone before heading to the bench as the Panthers change on the fly. 14:55 left. Rich Sutter is bumped by Belanger. Shot from a sharp angle by Murphy. Rebound in front. Drappa's got his man. Belanger picks up the loose puck in the corner. Sends back to Murphy. Turns, fires a shot. Scores! Gord Murphy, and we're all tied up at 2.
This time the tables may just have turned on Eddie Balfour and Chris Chelios. Gord Murphy's turnaround slap shot gets through the pile and gets through Eddie Balfour. We're going to see it right from the point. A lot of action in front of the net. Puck is misdirected, Gord. Gord Murphy's got to turn around, fires it, watch Chelios. Hits Chelios' skate and gets by Eddie Balfour. Chelios got 2 deflections to go his way. This deflection didn't. Watch it hit his skate, redirected right in between Eddie Balfour's pads, and they give each other a look and say, oh no. Gord Murphy, former Philadelphia Flyer, 42 points in his best season, 1990, is one of those players that Roger Nielsen is looking forward to, having a good season, strong on the power play, good offensive player. Watch the redirection of that puck.
Pretty good athletic move to turn around and in one motion, Dennis, fire the shot towards the net. Belanger and Lomakin draw the assist on the Murphy goal, his first of the year. 5:18, and we're tied 2-2.
And to do that without falling down, I think is pretty good, too.
This is Drappa for the Blackhawks. Drappa crosses the line, and it's the delayed penalty upcoming here now as Sorella bats it out of the air, but we're going to get a slashing call against the Panthers. And once again tonight, the Blackhawks will get a power play.
No sooner does Gord Murphy find himself elated after scoring a goal, he's now taking a penalty for slashing.
Florida penalty.
As Drappa carries the puck across the Panther blue line, here you see the slash and the arm. And all of the rest, you know.
Murphy given us for slashing at 5:37.
5:37, the time of the slashing penalty. And we are looking And yet another power play for the Blackhawks. They've scored their 2 goals on the power play. In fact, 3 of the 4 goals tonight scored with the extra man. The lone goal at even strength scored by Gordon Murphy to tie up the hockey game. Hawks are 2 for 9 on the power play. 12 shots in total on goal. This is Chelios. Slides ahead. Murphy looking for Noonan. The shot banged into the net, and the Blackhawks have regained the lead. Jeremy Roenick with his first of the year.
Well, you heard Brian Skurlin talk about it between periods. Penalties will kill us. The puck gets redirected, sitting right on the front doorstep, handed right to Jeremy Roenick, who takes no time in putting it away. Watch the change of directions right in front of Roenick, who just slaps it in.
Blackhawk goal and the power play is first.
Again, important. Direct the puck towards that net. Wait and see what happens. Hits a stick, hits a skate, finds itself right in front. Jeremy Roenick backhands it. Past John Van Beesbroek, had no chance.
Just 9 seconds after Murphy was called on the slashing penalty. Blackhawks convert here in front. Oh, it's off the crossbar. Davidov had Belfour beaten and knocks it off the crossbar. Murphy in off the point. Gord Murphy, who had tied it for the Panthers, sends to the point. Godinyak with a shot. Comes to Belanger. His roller blocked in front. Matteau out of the zone. The Panthers simply will not give up. Give them a lot of credit here for their guts and determination. Godinyak off the boards for Lamakin. That pass fails to click. Chelios touches it. And play whistle down with another penalty call. This one against the Blackhawks. Panthers on the power play when we return. Jeff Herbert, Denny Pat Van rejoining you here on the Florida Panthers Hockey Network, and a power play upcoming.
On the screen, you see Davidov. Meaningless hit, but here's Dropa. Boom. Right there, the arm goes up. Cross-checking. 2 minutes. No sooner had the Chicago Blackhawks taken the lead with their 3rd goal on power play. Look at this, right off the post. Maybe that's why Dropa was mad. Davidov shot one past Belfour off the post. Now the Panthers are on the power play.
Florida 1 for 6 with the extra man, a total of 6 shots on goal. They trail by a goal, 13:09 left to go in this 3rd period. The Blackhawks with 3 power play markers. Across the line, Benning slides it for Davidov. Davidov had the puck stolen away, and it's Dirk Graham, one of the fine penalty killers in the NHL, sending it right on Van Beesbroek before heading off to the bench. Davidov chased by Roenick. Keith Brown dishing it off on the wing. This is Niedermeyer in full flight. Works by Wilkinson, throws it in front. Davidov wasn't ready for it. Brown from the point. Davidov, Niedermeyer in front to Mellenbein. He could not cradle the puck. Comes to Brown again. Brown's pass intercepted by Roenick. Sliding it ahead here from Matteau. Matteau and Brown, the old players back, and Matteau fires it high over Van Beesbroek and high over top of the net. 44 seconds remaining in the drop of penalty. Florida on the power play. Lead pass for Belanger in full flight. Belanger gives to Mellenbein, stolen away there by the Blackhawks. Troy Murray, and it's down deep into the Florida zone. Played by Murphy. Murphy, lead pass for Lamakin. Lamakin with a burst of speed. Will try to get around Steve Smith. Lamakin, chased by Murray to the point. Here's a shot. Knocked down in front of Belfour, and then slid wide with Belanger standing on the doorstep. Murphy, Lamakin. Lamakin. Stripped of the puck by Chelios, set to the open corner, 11:26 left. 1 second in the drop of penalty. Hawks have killed it out. This is Christian. Drops the pass for Troy Murray, turning around and stripped of the puck. Lamakin, 11, will try to squeeze by the defense. Here's Lamakin, walks in, shoots, scores! Andre Lamakin, and again we're tied at 3.
What a play by Andre Lamakin. Leading scorer in training camp shows why. As the puck moves up the ice, you'll see Levens here getting the 2 defensemen to commit towards him, leaving Lamakin all open. Watch this. Pure beauty.
Florida goal scored by number 19, Andre Lamakin.
Levens draws both defensive towards him. No need to talk at this point.
Florida goal scored by
Eddie Balfour, last year's Vezina Trophy winner, made to go the wrong way on a wonderful move by Andre Lamakin.
Levens gets the assist at 8:50. Buckle your seatbelts. We're tied once again at 3. Sutter for Goulet. Lowry along the boards. Up by Noonan. Comes free in the corner in front. Sutter from a sharp angle. Sticked aside by the Panthers goaltender Van Beesbroek. Sutter in front again. Off the glove of Van Beesbroek. Brown has his man tied out. Puck kicked free. Backhanded by Scribblen, but not out. Mike Huff and Sutter bump. Brown driven to the ice by Noonan, loving it ahead and out of the zone.
You're allowed to make that hand pass inside the defensive zone only.
Play whistle down as we approach the halfway point of this 3rd period.
This is one of the new rules this year, Jeff, is that you can move the puck with your hand, but only in the defensive zone. It's rule number 2 now, and you just saw it done by Keith Brown. Anywhere else on the ice, it'll be called a whistle. No penalty, just the play will be whistle dead if you move the puck ahead to a player on your own team. Encroachment, of course, is leave the players and the face-offs alone. Goal disallowed if the puck is hit by a stick higher than the crossbar. That means it used to be the shoulders, but now there can be such a disparity in the size of the players, some 6'5", some 5'8". They've made it the height of the crossbar, which is 4 feet. Anything higher, goals will be disallowed.
Play underway along the boards, and it's called by referee Roberts.
That rule about hitting the puck, used to be over the shoulders. They'd disallow a goal or they'd whistle it down. But now that it's made at 4 feet, it's universal for everybody. It makes it much easier for the referee to be able to detect whether the puck was actually hit, above the crossbar, high sticked into the goal. That's one of the things that makes it a little easier for the referees. They don't have a lot of things that are easy for them.
Gudinyak. Up the boards, Levens stripped of the puck, knocked to the ice was Murphy, and the Panthers come out of their own zone. Play whistle down. Lindsay held up by Muni along the boards, and play called with 9:49 left.
When you review the movement of the puck with the hand, what it does, Jeff, it also helps speed up the game. Because a lot of times players, rather than move the puck in their own zone with the hand, they'll try and freeze it. Many of those players might be without a hockey stick, so they'll try and get a stoppage of play. And all of these rules are intended to do something positive for the NHL. And in this particular case, movement of the puck means continuing the play. Therefore, keeping the play moving, keeping it fast.
Establishing some flow to the game, making it more exciting for the fans.
And us, too.
All these measures, an effort to speed up the game. Shot from the point on the stick side goes wide. Behind the net, Belanger tries to dig it free and does. In front, though, the Blackhawks clear as Matteau sends Dirk Graham away. Working on Gudinyak. Matteau had it tipped off his stick. Here come the Panthers, 2-on-1. Davidov could not control him. Smith, cross ice, Wilkinson. Off the boards to Dirk Graham. Graham away from Davidov. Right back to Wilkinson. 9:04 left to go, 3rd period. Tied 3-3. Gudinyak off the boards, onto the stick of Joe Murphy. He'll work on Gudinyak. Tries to walk in front. Van Beesbroek to save. The rebound cleared with a loose puck in front of Van Beesbroek. Panthers change on the fly. Lead pass Goulet, set to the open corner. Back to play is Sorella. Sorella high off the glass, able to keep it in. Levens gets it out of the zone, then sweeps it ahead. Chelios, who has 2, of the 3 Blackhawk goals tonight. Droppa, Roenick, up to the ice by Brown. Droppa loving the puck, and now he's held along the wall by Levens. We'll be back after a word from our local stations here on your Panther Television Network.
Nolan Ryan's at.
The Florida Panthers will be back home is next Tuesday against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
And fans, we know you'll enjoy your visit to the Miami Arena to see the Panthers all season long with our mascot, the Panther Patrol Air Panther. An exciting intermission contest. There never will be a dull moment. Fans with tickets to opening night will be treated to a spectacular laser show and a dance routine that should be quite interesting and exciting for Panther hockey followers at the Miami Arena. We hope to see you there.
Not to mention Jaromir Jagr, Tocchet, Stevens, all those great Pittsburgh players.
Of course, Lemieux, big number 66, expected back for the Penguins, but not until later on in the month of October. Coming back from back surgery. Brent Sutter turns in front. Bad save, Van Beesbrook. Smith bumped by Mellenby along the boards. Puck deep in the Panthers zone. Played by Lemieux. Sutter. Turned around by Niedermeyer. He'll try the wraparound. Loose puck left in the crease, and Murphy sweeps it away, sending it down into the Chicago end. Gordon Murphy and Noonan in close quarters, exchanging unpleasantries, and then both head to their respective benches. Here's Roenick in full flight. It's by Mellenby, but backhanded by Skrudlin. The neutral ice played by Chelios. Along the boards, Murphy held up by Brown. It's Sorella knocking it ahead to Mellenby on the right wing. Mellenby by Droppa. Lead pass for Skrudlin. He couldn't control it, and Muni sends Goulet away. Goulet dumped behind the net. Brown. Near corner, away from a hit from Roenick. Roenick loses his stick, catches it right back, but it's a 2-on-2. Huff with Levens. Huff around the net. Huff fires a shot off the chest protector of Belfour. Skrudlin for Huff with Levens. Excellent work here by the Panthers. Backhand shot. Loose puck in front of Belfour. He couldn't cover up. Levens behind the net. The Panthers refuse to stop working here. Continue to work hard. Looking for the hustle to pay up, and it does! Skrudlin with a goal, and the Blackhawks are trailing by a goal. Florida in front, 4-3.
Jeff, you can't ask for better work around the net. Skrudlin, Levens, and Huff using their experience and strength. They keep getting the puck taken away from them. They keep going back and getting it. Skrudlin and Huff in particular moving round and round in the deep corner. We're going to see the work being done. Skrudlin not being checked, not being watched by anybody. Goes in. Levens tying up Muni. A lot of time to watch. This is uncommon and deep in the offensive zone. Here it is. He picks it up. His own rebound. Back of the net. Ryan Skrudlin, his first goal of the season. A happy camper. He said he wanted to be a leader. He's led the team into their first lead of the game.
He also predicted in our second intermission with Steve Michael that the Panthers were going to come back and win this hockey game. He says, I'm confident we will.
They also said, I want to go out there and get one. Get one, meaning a goal.
And he did. But there's plenty of time remaining. 6:13 in regulation time. If there's a tie, the game goes into overtime. Davidov around the net, poked off his stick by Belfour. The Blackhawks will start pressing here, down by a goal. Dirk Graham sends it into the offensive zone. Played by Greg Smith. Off the board, Steve Smith sent to the open corner. Benning away from Graham in neutral ice. Here's Davidov. It's a 3-on-1. Davidov walks in, fires a shot, rebound left there, and Chelios sweeps it to the corner. Back come the Blackhawks. Troy Murray with a shot, gloved by John Van Beesbrook. And he leads behind the net for Brian Benning, off the glass and up into the crowd. 5:27 remaining, and there's a man, Dennis Potvin, that certainly deserves some credit here for the Panthers' fine effort tonight. He has been outstanding.
Well, remember, there's 3 periods in a hockey game. The team seems to have a lot more confidence now. They're playing much more aggressively behind the leadership of their captain, newly appointed by the players, Brian Skrudlin. We're going to get another look at the goal here. Brian Skrudlin reaches in, gets the puck. He's going to move towards the net, really not challenged. Takes a shot, his own rebound. top shelf.
Van Beesbrook for Murphy. Sent off the boards, knocked down. Blackhawks in the offensive zone. We have the puck knocked down by a high stick, so the faceoff will come outside the zone. We'll be back. 1 goal difference, Florida in front.
Tonight,
Illinois, the Florida Panthers in their first game ever are leading the Blackhawks by a goal, 4-3. You see the time remaining. Jeff Herbert, Dennis Potvin, and Steve Michael joining you here from the stadium in Chicago along the Florida Panthers television network. Chelios with a shot deflected wide. Less than 5 minutes now left to go. Third period. Wraparound attempt by Rich Sutter. Backhanded, delayed penalty upcoming here as it's backhanded by Murphy, and we're going to get a hooking call against the Florida Panthers.
Well, Lance Roberts, the referee, calls it hooking. It looked more like open field tackles to me for a little while there. The Panthers got out of sorts a little bit, lost a little bit of control, puck moving around. They had to pull their men down, and Gordiniak got caught doing it. Here you see the Panthers scrambling a little bit, not being able to get the puck. And look at this. Gordiniak wrestling him down. Open field tackle. We'll be off for 2 minutes.
15:08, the time of the penalty to Gordiniak.
2 minutes for hooking.
2 for hooking.
15:08.
Incidentally, on the go-ahead goal by Skrudland, assists go to Huff and Levens. Ryan Skrudland, who has scored the go-ahead goal, will come off the penalty here with Randy Gillen out there to take this face-off. Chelios fires it through traffic. Van Beesbrook never saw it, but it went off his pad. Noonan in front, hooked off his stick. Roenick gets it right back. Roenick to the left point, Smith. Cross ice, Chelios. Away from Gillen. Joe Murphy. Down behind the net. Played by Noonan, kicked by Brown to the point, but not out. Noonan on the half-board. Noonan. Roenick sets up behind the net. Off the boards for Smith. He was able to keep it in at the point. Chelios slides ahead here for Joe Murphy. Murphy, top of the circle. Murphy with a shot off the goalpost. Sorella plays to the point, but not out. Shoveled ahead. Murphy, Roenick. 4 minutes left in regulation time. 1:05 in the power play. Here's a shot by Roenick. Scores! His second of the night. Well, 4th power play goal for the Blackhawks tonight. And again, we're all tied up.
Nothing's easy out there. And we're going to see the movement of the puck again. You have the screening in front of the net. John Van Beesbrook didn't see it. Again, you have Brian Noonan, Keith Brown tangled up in front of the net. We will get a chance of Roenick coming in. One-timer, lets it go right away. We'll get a better idea of Noonan and Keith Brown again. Right between the legs of Keith Brown, off the post, beat John Van Beesbrook. Panthers are again behind by 1 goal.
Well, 10 power play opportunities tonight for the Chicago Blackhawks. And they have scored 4 power play goals, on now 11 power play chances. Murphy tries to send it towards the net. Here's a break. 2-on-1 for Chicago. Dirk Graham looking for Sutter. Tries to redirect it, but wide. Brent Sutter held up by Lomakin. Puck dug free in front, Dirk Graham. Down in front to block that shot was Murphy, and back come the Panthers. Boulanger across the line, tries to stick handle his way in. Oh, goes top shelf on the glove side and missed the net, but not by much. Dirk Graham for the Blackhawks from center, just rolls into the open corner. Over the stick of John Van Beesbrook. Icing the call. And 2:58 left to go in the regulation time. Tied at 4.
The Panthers take no time in turning it around, trying to force a play. Jesse Boulanger making a good offensive move on the Blackhawks, getting a great shot out, going for the top shelf, as was mentioned by Jeff, just a little too high.
Blackhawk ball, power play, scored by Rodick.
2 minutes 58 left in the game. There's plenty of time for Rogers Warriors to pick up another goal.
What a great building this is. Chicago Stadium. The last season the Blackhawks will play this in this building. They'll move across the street to the United Center, which they tell us this arena maybe twice could fit in. Brown rolling it into the Chicago zone. Moved by Belfour to the corner. In neutral ice now. Niedermeyer for the Panthers. Drops it behind Belfour. The crowd really getting into it, trying to encourage the home side. We've come back to tie the hockey game at 4. Chelios, Goulet over the stick of Mellenby. Troy Murray tries to center it for Goulet. Held up by Mellenby. Hawks try to dig it free. The play whistle down, and the face-off to the right of John Van Beesbrook.
Stars into the game immediately following all Blackhawk home games. And as you drive home tonight, sure to catch the post-game show on the loop.
Dennis, we've talked all night long about this great building to play in. You, as a longtime performer with the New York Islanders, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, what was it like as a player for you to play here?
Well, we talked about the noise level. We also talked about the fact that the rink is a little smaller than most rinks in the National Hockey League. It means, or at least it felt, like the Blackhawks are on top of you every time you turned around. It makes it a little more difficult to play. You want to make every pass truer, and you want to make every play out of the zone an effective one.
As a visiting player, did you enjoy this building?
I love this building. The ambiance just couldn't be beaten.
Play underway in the Panthers zone. Lemieux gets it to Chelios, sent towards the net. Shoveled off to the side by Gord Murphy. Here's Ronick. Chelios in front. Oh, Rich Sutter couldn't get a stick on it. Sutter had it behind the defense of the Panthers, but couldn't find the handle. Ronick again to Sutter. Wrap around the tap. Van Beesbrook will cover up. As defensively, the Panthers get all tied up here, and the face-off again in the Panthers zone with the Blackhawks all over the Panthers.
It's a good time for John Van Beesbrook to stop the play. You'll see here how the Blackhawks keep the puck on the outside. They seem to be the first ones to the puck. Here again, Sutter moving around the net. That's Rich Sutter, newly acquired from St. Louis. No time to keep this going. Let's put a stop to it, says John Van Beesbrook. Give our players a rest, change lines, get things started. Rich Sutter, he and his wife had a little baby boy a couple of days ago, and actually only came into Chicago last night. The Blackhawks let him stay home with his wife, be there in attendance of the new birth, and has joined his older brothers, Darryl and Dwayne, in the Chicago Blackhawk organization.
Well, I guess there are priorities, huh? Family comes first.
It should always be that priority.
Sutter held up by Gillen. A minute 22 left in regulation time. If this one ends tied after 60 minutes, we'll play 5 minutes of sudden death. And if it's still tied, each team will get 1 point in the standings. Across the line, sent on Belfour. Belfour backhands to the boards. Chelios couldn't get a stick on it. Steve Smith does. Smith for the Blackhawks.
1 minute to play in the
Begin to Noonan with less than a minute to go in the third period. If indeed this game ends tied after 60 minutes, the goaltenders will change ends, as will the teams, and 5 minutes of sudden death will follow immediately. Graham with a shot. Pad save by Van Beesbrook. Chelios with a shot from a sharp angle that goes wide. Played by Dirk Graham. In the corner, Troy Murray, bumped from behind by Sorella. Moved by Niedermeyer. Fitzgerald. Shot wide of the net. Roger Nielsen showing all kinds of confidence in his rookie Niedermeyer here, Dennis, by throwing him out there in the last minute of play.
He wants that speed. He's got to break it open. Hopefully he'll get a break.
Mellenby across the line. Sends it on. Belfour the save. Rebound. And Lowry was tied up. Now Wilkinson and Lowry in the corner. Wilkinson wants to go. Lowry just wants to get back to the play. And I don't believe it. We're going to get penalties to both. Wilkinson and Lowry, who always had one intention. And that was to get back into the play, and now the two again are separated with 5 and 5/10 seconds remaining in this third period.
The fight was going on in the Chicago Blackhawks zone, but actually the play was in the Panther zone. It looks like Lance Roberts, the referee, has decided to go halfway and have the face-off in the neutral zone. 5 seconds left. The Panthers want to get the puck moving directly into the offensive zone if they're going to get any other opportunity and a scoring chance.
The face-off outside the Panther blue line. Skrudlin and Troy Murray. Murray wins the draw. Play. Muni with a shot right on Van Beesbrook. This will do it. And we are headed to overtime on opening night for the Florida Panthers in the NHL. They tie the Blackhawks after regulation time at 4. We'll take this short break and come back for exciting sudden death overtime on the Florida Panthers Hockey Network. Back at the stadium in Chicago on the Florida Panthers television network. It is overtime with the score tied between Florida and the Blackhawks on this opening night in the NHL for the Florida Panthers. How about overtime, Dennis? Any thoughts?
Well, we're going for 5 minutes. The teams have been given a 2-minute rest. Obviously, the home team, the Chicago Blackhawks, will be trying to win this game. The Panthers, obviously want to win the game, but will be satisfied with 1 point. The thing is, keep the puck ahead.
Here's Belanger on the right wing. Top of the circle. His shot deflected wide by Chelios, who's played a strong game, 2 goals. He's also played exceptionally well defensively, Dennis.
Well, he's a great blend of offensive, defensive player. He's really the Norris Trophy winner. He combines all aspects of the ice, but his poise is exceptional on the ice.
Murphy rolls it around. Picked up by Gudinyak. Away from a Hawk defender. Belanger one-on-one. Lamakin was dumped. Here's a shot that goes wide. Now there's a call that Lance Roberts could have made. Does the referee throw his whistle away in overtime?
Well, I would think that he does. There was a classic knee on Lamakin, who stood there. It also could be called attempt to injure. It's not called, and we'll see whether or not that whistle is buried.
Sorella aired on the point with Brown. Slides ahead for Skrudlin. Right back to Sorella. Sorella jumping up in the play and across the line. Tries to stick handle his way in. And a loose puck picked up by
35,
Murphy. This is Murphy away for the Blackhawks. Murphy held up on the play by Mike Huff. Cleared out of the zone. Keith Brown with Skrudlin. Brown bumped by Troy Murray. And it's Chelios behind the net. Both teams change on the fly. 3:23 left in overtime. Murphy to Murray, called on the offside.
Teams are still playing four-side. We have Lowry and Wilkinson in the penalty box. You'll recall the little pushing and shoving they had just near the end of the game. The penalty does carry on into the overtime period, which lasts 5 minutes. We have 3 minutes, 20 seconds left in this overtime period. If the score remains tied at 4, both teams will be credited with 1 point. There will not be any further overtime.
A look at the respective coaches. Roger Nielsen on your left. And Darryl Sutter, the Blackhawks coach, on the right. One of 2 Sutter brothers coaching in the NHL. Brian Sutter of the Bruins the other. And this is Brent Sutter with a shot. Van Beesbrook the save. Lost sight of the rebound. Sent towards the net, but wide. Gudinyak, who's played a solid game on the Panthers' blue line. Trying to hold it along the wall. Puck squirts free. Goulet is held up by Murphy. Comes to Lowry, who rolls it into the Blackhawks zone. Mellenby throws it on the wing for Niedermeyer. Held up by Rich Sutter. Blackhawks clear the zone. Hammered back in by Brown. Around on the boards, Chelios waits for the puck, picks it up for the Blackhawks. Rolls cross ice for Roenick. Roenick and Chelios, 2 goals each for Chicago. In full flight, Rich Sutter fires over top of Van Beesbrook, and it hit the glass and made the crowd.
Well, Rich Sutter can be upset at himself, but it's more the great play of Joe Sorella Rich Sutter found himself in the open, moving 2-on-1 right here, moving 2-on-1 on Joe Cirella. The timing, look at him, goes down, covers as much as he can, deflects it into the stands.
Here's an interesting stat in overtime as we get another look at that rebound. Dennis, 1 win, 3 losses, and 12 ties for the Blackhawks last year in overtime. Their only victory, in fact, came on the road.
It's not a team that brings a lot of confidence into extra play. What do you think? Is this a determined look? Here's the Sutter, Rich Sutter on the other side. Here we are. Scott Levens hoping they can get one shot.
Skrudland set for the face-off for the Panthers. He is working against Troy Murray of the Chicago Blackhawks. Skrudland wins the draw, slips and falls in the face-off circle. Comes in front, Van Beesbrook with a save as Troy Murray got the puck on his stick and alertly and very quickly shot on Van Beesbrook, who was equal to the occasion.
Forget speed, forget quickness, forget style. Right from the face-off, Newton gets a quick shot on Van Beesbrook. Van Beesbrook doesn't use any of those. No speed. He uses experience. Look at the way he slides across, gets down. Again, covers as much net as he can. Only experience can teach you that.
A look at tonight's hockey game. Just a recap. Florida leading 1-0 after 1. Blackhawks led 2-1 after 2. And then in the third period, 3-2 for Florida to send this one into overtime. Skrudland down the right wing with Huff, who darts to the net. Sent for Cirella, pinching it off the point. Mike Huff behind the net is bumped. Troy Murray rolls it around for Jocelyn Lemieux. Lemieux, no relation to Mario Lemieux. Rich Sutter bumped, but he is the brother of Claude Lemieux, the New Jersey Devil. Levens, Huff with Skrudland, just rolled into the zone, and the Panthers will change on the fly. 1:45 remaining in overtime as Steve Smith bounces it into the Panther zone. Gord Murphy, long left wing pass across the line, dropped there for Fitzgerald, sent towards the net, but blocked by Chelios. Chelios tried to send Goulet away. Backhanded by Gudinyak. Steve Smith for Chelios. Chelios to Goulet, centering pass backhanded. Picked off by Fitzgerald, who sends it right on. Belfour will make the save. Steve Smith with an extra elbow at Fitzgerald that went undetected. Minute 9 remaining. Rolled into the zone by Smith. Both teams continue to change on the fly. Oh, getting crossed up there with Gudinyak and Van Beesbrook. And an anxious moment in front of the Panther net now with less than a minute to go in overtime. Wilkinson by Lowry. The pass for Graham. Knocked down by Cirella. Mellenby. Bumped by Wilkinson. Along the boards. Mellenby has the puck stripped by Graham. Comes to Cirella. Cirella right back to Graham. Wilkinson. Muni. Muni from center. Rolls it into the Panther end. You see the time remaining here in overtime as Van Beesbrook sends it out of the zone. Chelios high in the air, up into the crowd here at the stadium in Chicago. And we've got some extracurricular activity at center ice at the benches in front of both the Florida and Chicago bench, and there's all kinds of activity now.
And it looked right from the beginning. Chelios took a little exception in Niedermeyer, and that's what started it. If you want to get the best player, Chelios, on the Hawks, and the top draft pick for the Panthers coming together, this is what you're going to get, a scrum.
20 and 7/10 seconds remaining. With the players in that scrum, as Denny Potvin calls it. Again, they try to separate them, and again, some pushing and shoving.
Chelios, as we talked about, oh, here we go. Now the benches being together. Players get a chance to pat each other around with the gloves. One might wonder why don't they separate these benches, but now it is a new league rule that the benches have to be side by side in the neutral zone and on the same side of the ice. The National Hockey League for a long time allowed benches to be at different sides of the ice, but some felt that in some rinks, Boston in particular,
The Blackhawks still not giving this one up. They're right back at the Panthers bench.
Well, as I was saying, in Boston, it might have given an edge to the Bruins. That's why the benches are together. But now, finally, things seem to be calming down. A lot of frustration being shown, mostly on the part of the Chicago Blackhawks, who certainly came into this game the favored team.
And to the Panthers' credit, they're not backing away. They're not going to be intimidated here tonight. And that includes young Niedermayer.
Well, Bobby Clark said he's not going to have a team that's not going to be in the games or who's going to quit. They've just kept coming back all night long, goal after goal, time after time. They fell behind. But you saw the Panthers just keep coming back till they finally tied it up, took the lead. The Blackhawks came back to tie it up, so we find ourselves in the overtime period. And once they clear the melee, we'll have 20 seconds left in this overtime period.
Lance Roberts now talking both to Darryl Sutter and Roger Nielsen. And Chelios and Niedermayer appear to be sent off for the remainder of this hockey game. And now Roberts talking to Dave Brown and Steve Smith right at the benches. So a pretty gutsy effort tonight by these upstart Florida Panthers. This is their inaugural game in their first season in the National Hockey League. And for Roger Nielsen, he's got to be pleased with the effort, Dennis.
He's really getting what he wants. The defense played very well, strong game. His forwards charged. They showed some offensive power. 4 goals, 3 of them on power play. You really can't ask for much more. They've come into a game, one of the most intimidating buildings in the league, and they've shown that in every aspect of the game, every department. We're talking about goaltending. We knew that wasn't going to be a problem. Sometimes there's question about defense. They looked to get a strong defenseman. They've traded for another strong defenseman, but the players that played tonight played exceptionally well, especially in the penalty killing area. Guys like Joe Cirella, Keith Brown have all played strong games. The forward line, the experience came through. Mellenby, Skrudlin, they've all played strong games and developed a lot of great chances on the net. We saw the quickness of Davidoff, the puck handling ability of Lomakin, scoring on the breakaway. Almost every aspect of the game has been touched on for the Panthers, and they've all been very good.
There's the owner.
Yeah, he's got to be pretty happy. Flew in 100 people, is it, Jeff, from South Florida to watch the first game.
And excited about his new hockey team in the National Hockey League. The Florida Panthers just concluding what had to be a successful expansion season, first season for them in the National League of the Major League Baseball. And tonight, flying here to the stadium in Chicago to see his young Florida Panthers play their first game ever. And he's got to be very excited about the effort.
He's going to bring a lot of excitement to South Florida. Just unveiling Wayne's World recently. Will be a fantastic sports entertainment center.
Skrudlin, Roenick set for the faceoff. Steve Smith. Final seconds ticking off. Rolls it into the Panthers zone. Van Beesbroek trapping it. Leaves for Cirella. Around on the boards, cut off by Smith. Dirk Graham held up by Brown. Cirella in to help out for good measure. Comes in front. Moved by Skrudlin. Through an opening down the ice, so this will do it. The Florida Panthers in their first ever game in the National Hockey League come off the bench to congratulate John Van Beesbroek. And the Panthers have held their own against the Chicago Blackhawks, one of the original 6 in the National Hockey League. And the final score, Florida 4, Chicago 4.